The college football experience week 6 preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress with the Game Time app, all right? Use that promo code CFBX to save $20 on your first purchase. Download the Game Time app. Once again, use that promo code CFBX. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added Pick'em Scorchers, where you can win 100 times the amount of money you enter. That's right. Turn $5 into $500 in one game. Plus, every single Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Whew. Use that promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. Let's go. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people.
Hey, everybody, Jim McMahon here, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes! 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 Woo! Welcome! Welcome to the college football experience week 6 preview and picks episode. Are we already on week 6? Woo! I mean, part of me is excited for the lineup. Part of me is upset because we're already halfway through the season, damn it. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to go through every single game like we do every single week. But first, shout out to the chat. They're rolling along already. Appreciate everyone in the chat. But look, you may be wondering who the hell you're listening to. And that is fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee, a.k.a. Dick Flair. All right? That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
He's the kind of guy that would drink a gallon of gasoline so he could piss in your campfire. You could drop this guy off at the Arctic Circle wearing a pair of bikini underwear without his toothbrush, and tomorrow afternoon he's going to show up at your poolside with $1 million smile and a fistful of pesos.
That is right. Remember last Friday I had $1 million smile because I had a fistful of fucking pesos? Saturday was decent too. But Friday I was on fire. I actually had a fire NFL week too. Fucking, I'm unstoppable.
Rolling mid-season form.
Say it. All right. This guy. And I did lose a lock battle to Patty C with his filthy JMU Dukes. Got it done. All right. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well,
let's get it going, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
We got some big-time matchups. Shout out to M. Anderson in the chat. Says, this is the best Wednesday night show anywhere. Woo! Take that, The View. All right?
Scratch off Wednesday. Just say it's the best show anywhere, not just Wednesday night.
Let's not get greedy.
Yeah,
okay, all right. Fair enough.
Taxi Cab Confessions is definitely better than us. Look, join my third man in the booth. Give it up for the DFS god himself. We invite you to come play DFS with us, all right? We invite you to come play DFS with us. And we have an episode dropping tomorrow morning, DFS-wise. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco road living, the free lock giving, former Hunter Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
I mean, I'm doing fantastic. Shout out to Cam Kerr, the graphics guy who put this guy like 4 days ago made this graphic. put Phil Jerkovic for some reason on there. And great introduction because he's no longer the starting quarterback of the Pitt Panthers. Talk about the planets aligning.
Yeah, when was that announced? Like an hour ago?
That's what I'm saying.
Timing.
He knew. Maybe he's connected to the Pitt Panther program. But
maybe Moneyline Mac is behind the scenes there, trying to throw shade at Pitt again.
Yeah, he's like, got the hot angle there and said, put that on there. Give us Jerkovic.
I mean, shout out to Call Hactus. Says I waited 6 hours for the show. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Let's go. All right. That's like the Star Wars people that sit there in the fucking line for like a week. You know what I mean? It's the closest thing I got to that. Tell my mom that.
Incredible.
All right. He's no longer the starting quarterback. NC Nick, we both took Pitt on the over. Pretty sure that's cooked. Any chance?
I think it was 6.5 it was 6. It was an even 6, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that's going to happen, man. They look like trash.
Patty, what do you think?
What was it? Well,
can they get the 7 wins, the Pitt Panthers?
No, I think that's
cooked,
that's
right?
Yeah.
All right. We had some other
Rob
news.
Donaldson saying Narduzzi's head is already at Michigan State. Is that
as what, defensive line coach?
right? Is that a realistic possibility anymore?
Not anymore after this season.
That would be hilarious if Michigan State hired him as head coach.
Yeah,
it would be.
Know. I mean, maybe their administrator has a longer view of things than
he's not awful. I mean, he's done pretty well lately, actually.
Yeah.
It's still bad timing for that hire.
I would
in terms
say
of like exciting fans and
then Pitt could go hire Rich Rodriguez.
Oh man.
Can you imagine that?
Whoa.
Speaking of Rich Rod, touchdown Jacksonville State.
Son of a no, he got tackled.
Tackled
He didn't have any breakaway speed. Yes, we do have Conference USA college football going on right now. I'm riding Middle Tennessee -3, and I also have the airport plus. What was it, 6?
That was Zion Webb right there. Is Smothers out?
Son of a bitch. That's my DFS quarterback, Smothers. And he's not at. Dude, what's going on in the fantasy level? None of my players are playing. I hate everything.
This is Colby complaining every week behind the scenes.
Jalen Daniels is a top 10 quarterback in the nation when he plays. A little bit of intel would be nice. A little bit of fucking
5
intel.
minutes before kickoff. You got to be ready.
Well, the intel we've been getting this week, not to jump ahead and talk about Kansas, is that he hasn't done much in practice all week, which you would think leads to not playing. But watch him play this week.
Is this guy turning into quiet letters? What the hell's happening here? All right.
Load management.
I'm joking. I'm joking, Jalen. I need you the rest of the year. Come on through. DJ Irons, the Akron Zips starting quarterback, out for the season.
Ouch.
Akron has been one of the most unlucky teams in college football over the past, I'd say, 10 games, including back to last year. And they just keep losing close games. They just find a way to lose close games. Get this stat. In its last 11 games, Akron is 2-9 with a close loss to Indiana and Kentucky. They also had 7 losses by an average of 4 points, 2 of them in overtime.
Rough.
How's that even possible?
Joe Moorhead had a big project.
Dude, they're right there to win all these games, though.
Well, like you say, like Bowden says, lose big, lose close, win big. He's at step 2. Give him some time. Give him some time.
Unfucking believable. I feel like that's most of the college. There's some other college football news, but it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? Like a lot of bullshit news out there. But I mean, talking about the FCS fine to jump up to the FBS was $5,000. They're making it $5 million because they don't want everyone to jump up to the FBS.
Joe Moorhead's from Pittsburgh. He could be
I don't think they're going to hire him because Akron sucks ass right now.
True.
Did you just say the cost to jump from the FCS to FBS was $5,000?
Yeah,
5,000. Like
5,000.
It might as well just be free then. Like what's five? What are you gonna do with $5,000?
Oh, you got to remember also though the school's going to add a shit ton of more scholarships, so the school's going to have a huge amount of money they have to put down. Then if you're valid, if you're looking at the value of a scholarship,
it just seems like it's a funny number. Like it might as well just be nothing, But I guess they changed it, so that's
what
neither here nor there.
5,000 to 5 million.
Oh,
it's quite the jump.
Yeah,
that does change the equation quite a bit.
It's because they're trying to, they
don't want any more JMUs jumping up and throwing a monkey wrench in the equation.
That is true. That is very, very true.
And Jacksonville State is 4-1 with the lead right now. It could be 5-1 tonight, so they're doing the same thing.
I'm scouting East Carolina's next head coach, Rich Rodriguez. How about Brennan Armstrong? No longer the starting quarterback in Raleigh. What the fuck is going on?
Vindicated. I believe we had a big argument earlier in the season about whether he was actually a good quarterback. He is not even a starting quarterback, so that question is answered.
How long will this other guy start? MJ Morris, actually, he flashed a little bit last year.
I like MJ Morris,
yeah.
But the thing is, it's not like NC State's offensive struggles were all because Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's because their receivers are like me.
Well, it starts with the offensive line. They played poorly. The receivers, their best receivers, a true freshman who's like a 3-star. They got no talent in the running back position. They're just void of talent offensively, and the O-line's been struggling. So it'll be interesting to see what MJ Morris does. I like him. I like his future long-term, but I don't think he's going to come in there and kill it because you need help. And right now, it doesn't look like help is there.
I actually agree with you guys. I think Brennan Armstrong hasn't been the problem. In fact, his scrambling.
Dude, the Notre Dame game, he hit like the NC State wide receivers right in the hands like 3 times, perfectly thrown balls, bounced off his hands, intercepted.
Yeah. Scapegoat, Brennan Armstrong.
How about Riley Leonard? And I won a lock battle against NC Nick. I was very
lucky son of a bitch.
4th and 16, Sam Hartman coming through. Riley Leonard, though, got a high ankle sprain. That's good news that he didn't break his foot. But a high ankle sprain, traditionally, I'm seeing, 3 to 5 weeks. Is that? They got a bye week this week. That's one of them.
That was a 6.5 point spread, too, right?
No, 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
And it was a 6 point or 7.
So not only did they need a touchdown, but they needed the 2-point conversion to cover.
And they got it.
Pretty brutal.
They got it, baby. Won that lock battle. Not easy peasy, just
4th and 16, Sam Hartman runs for the longest scramble in his life.
We talked about that. Look, Elko's an unbelievable head coach. He brought pressure the previous 2 plays, and Hartman was he should have thrown a pick on 3rd down.
The whole drive previously, not just.
Why would you only rush 3? And if you only rush 3, you would think you'd be able to get to the quarterback before 16. Well, I think he got 18 yards on the run.
Yeah. In the post-game press conference, he said, you know what? We probably made a mistake. We should have kept the pressure on. So he manned up. He owned it. He's a hell of a coach. The fact that Duke is even in that football game with how bad they were 2 years ago is remarkable. Yeah. So, I mean, losing Riley Leonard for a few weeks is gonna sting because the backup quarterback, I believe, is a redshirt freshman. He played a little bit like the Lafayette game. Very inexperienced. So they might drop a couple more than – I mean, it looked like they still had chances to win the ACC or go to the ACC championship, 100%. even with a Notre Dame loss. But now with that injury, it's going to be hard.
No, I mean, it matters when he comes back. They might be able to beat NC State without Riley Leonard.
True.
So they're on bye this week. Next week's NC State. After that is when you kind of need them back because I believe it's at Florida State.
Yeah.
But Willis Reed did it. Riley Leonard can do it. Right.
That's right.
Georgia Tech.
Even with the loss to Florida State on the road, though, that doesn't eliminate them from ACC championship.
Yeah, they need him by the Louisville game, though, for sure. Yeah. NC Nick, your comments on so 2 of the worst MAC schools, looking at the MAC records, Northern Illinois and Bowling Green are 2-0 against the ACC this year. Your thoughts on who is better between the ACC and the MAC?
Well, let's see here. I'm not even going to answer that fucking question, okay?
Curtis Works,
move along.
Works healthy. I think Florida State might have a problem with the Bobcats. So Georgia Tech loses to Bowling Green, like badly. Andrew Thacker, I love Georgia Tech, who we know it was broke. That's why they couldn't hire anyone. They tried to get Fritz.
I was on the points, by the way.
They tried to get Willie Fritz on the cheap, but he said, no. So they promoted Brent Key. Their defensive coordinator, Andrew Thacker, been their DC since 2019, was demoted to safeties coach. I'm not going to fire you because we don't want to buy out your contract for $200,000. But guess what? You're in charge of the fucking safeties now. All right. And Kevin Scherer is now promoted to the new DC. What's going on with those Yellow Jackets, Patty C?
Struggling. I mean, yes, I think we all laid the points. What was it? 20, 21 and a half, 22?
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous spread for Georgia Tech, who hasn't proven anything yet. Bowling Green, though. Scotty Leffler got a few.
That saved his job, maybe. Neil Brown saving his job. Scotty Leffler saving his job. What is this? Is Boston College? Oh, yeah. Boston College play. Yeah.
A 9-3 season
Is
here.
Matty
Pretty
Ice
fucking
back in college? Is our guy Steve Logan the offensive coordinator again?
Well, here's the thing. The ACC is kind of like the MAC now. If you take
Nick's
away
about to
Clemson-
leave the show after the statement like that.
all these
I'm finding a
teams,
new podcast to join.
so
I have
was the
entered the
MAC.
transfer portal.
I mean, man's got a point.
You guys have this all ready to go, huh?
Man's got a point. No, I didn't know it did that on his own. We didn't even talk.
No, it's just sending strays out.
What do we think about, and we're about to go into games, but what do we think about Billy Napier's performance and Florida's defensive coordinator, which I really enjoyed that clip of him at the beginning of the year, giving that press conference saying, we're going to be like no other defense in the SEC. And it's like, gave up 8 yards of rush to Vanderbilt. I believe they almost broke a SEC rushing record that has been around since the 1930s.
To Kentucky, not Vandy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But he was the running back used to play for Vandy. Florida's now 1-9 in its last 10 road games, Patty C.
Oh, man, that's a stat for you.
I feel like it's worse than that. I feel like I saw a stat where it was like 2 out of their last like 30 or 25 or something. They have sucked away from home for a long ass time.
Yeah. Hey, Noah, can you load up that potential Tennessee Volunteer or South Carolina fan on the on the screen? Because that was by far the highlight of the week.
Meanwhile, we got people in the chat saying the ACC is weak, the SEC is weak. Well, you know what?
Oh, did you see Kirby Smart's comments today?
No.
Saying every team in the SEC should be ranked. He's
Shut up. Don't even, come on. I mean, the Big Ten, especially the Big Ten West is weak. The Big 12 is weak. The only good conference is the Pac-12.
And the top of the ACC is good.
Yeah, and the Big Ten East.
Yeah.
You know what's bizarre?
Look at this clip. Come on. This is the greatest fucking clip. Can we make that bigger by chance? What are we doing? What are we doing here? This is maybe the best photo in the history of college football. This is up there with the Petrino, neck brace.
Yeah, this has to make it
fucking hilarious.
Is that Alan Cooley or GBO Farms in 20 years? Which one?
Now, GBO Farms did say that was a Gamecock fan, and he might be right. The shirt might be a Gamecock shirt. I was trying to look at that. Fucking hilarious.
real quick. Florida's defense was probably pretty good before last week in terms of ranking. In matter of fact, they are the number 3 passing defense in all of college football.
You know why they are? It's because they played the 4th and 5th string quarterback of Utah. They also played McNeese State and Charlotte that can't throw the ball. So they haven't played any teams that have passed. This is why it's fool's gold.
Number 60 rush defense. It's still not terrible. It's still an average rush defense despite getting gashed last week.
All right, guys, let's get to some picks. Look, I'm going to read an ad, but this game's about to kick Florida International, New Mexico State. This game goes back to 2002. I think it might have already kicked. It's right around right now. I took the airport plus 6.5. Patty C, what'd you take here?
I took the airport.
Nick?
Of course. Why is New Mexico State laying almost a touchdown against anybody?
Well, because Diego Pavia has got BDE. You see him piss all over New Mexico's logo.
Well, it was hilarious, but that might not help you now.
Yeah, when rivals go too far. Fucking news sucks. All right, that's why you tune into us. That's why you wait 6 hours and tune into us, folks. All right, look, let's get to the Week 6 action. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the College Football Experience Week 6 previewed picks is brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be that stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, theater, whatever, near you, essentially. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll be having at that very event. And forget planning months in advance. How'd that do for that Florida defensive coordinator, huh? All right, look, Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. And they have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price. In fact, if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. All right, so snag the tickets without the stress with the Game Time app. Download it right now. Create an account. Use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create an account, CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. So stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with the Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right. Week 6 college football is upon us. Enjoy. Shout out to the Conference USA. We got Wednesday night college football. We have 49 straight days of football. Woo! Leads right into college basketball.
October is the best month of the year.
It's starting to be.
I'll buy that. I'll second that, Patty C.
I like November a lot, though. I'm a big November guy. You know,
yeah, November's great too. That's true. We got college basketball in November, but what is it? The game last night, was it Tampa? Who had the lowest baseball attendance turnout in
the Rays
the last 100 years?
Well, you shouldn't play baseball in the dome. Look, if you cannot play basketball gets a pass, but baseball and football, get the fuck out of here with this dome shit.
Yeah,
all right,
that's what happens.
Yeah. We got games Thursday. Sam Houston State is heading to the Flamin' Libs home in Lynchburg, Virginia to take on Jamie Chadwell and the undefeated Flamin' Libs. The Libs are laying 20.5 points. Holy hell. It's too many points.
Big time.
It's too many points. Sam Houston, you might have lost in heartbreak. I still can't believe I didn't hit my Sam Houston bet last week. But, I'm all over the 20.5. I think Sam Houston's defense can keep him in this game. I know it's a far trip. I know it's a toxic environment. But give me, and this is the first ever matchup. So, NC Nick, what are you doing here with the Flamin' Libs?
I agree with you guys. I think Keegan Shoemaker and the Bearcats offense finally showed some signs of life last week. And Liberty's actually coming off an early bye. I'd argue that early of a bye, while your team is like rolling offensively, is actually a bad thing. You know, maybe they come out a little sluggish in this game. I just think it's too many points. I mean, congrats to Liberty so far. They have a top 10 offense, 500 yards per game, but they're not just going to breeze through everybody on their schedule. So I think this one's a little bit closer than expected.
I mean, when you mention the 500 yards per game, it gets a little scary because let's recall that Sam Houston had only scored 10 points through their first 3 games.
Those are tough outings, though. I mean, Air Force top 10 defense. BYU's got a good defense. You saw what they did to your little shitty Bearcats that you think. Can we get a pulse update on your NC Nick? Let's talk to him about his Bearcat prediction here.
What's the prediction?
Where are you at here?
I'm confident as hell. Look, we should be 4-1.
I know, but you said they're going to be playing for a Big 12 championship potentially.
That's probably out the window. Look, Oklahoma and Texas are both.
They play each other, so that's good.
That they could, but even still, we wouldn't get. It would take Texas and then a tiebreaker. Oklahoma is a tiebreaker. We're not getting in. It's a long way away. But I'll say this: Sam Houston, I agree with you. Probably better than their 0-4 record indicates. I think the game against Jacksonville State, the overtime loss last week, pretty good. And then Liberty squeaking by some not great. I wouldn't say squeaking by, but not destroying some pretty bad teams. A 10-point win over Bowling Green, 16-point.
Bowling Green might win the ACC. What are you talking about?
True.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, they would be second to last in the ACC. Georgia Tech, pretty bad. I don't know. Virginia Tech. You're right.
Thursday night, I don't know which one you like. Which one are you looking forward to more? The Flamin' Libs against Sam Houston or Western Kentucky taking on Louisiana Tech? Yes, this goes back to 1939. These teams have been playing each other. La Tech leads the all-time series by 1, Patty C.
That's right. This is the 100 miles of this one.
No, this is like
That was last week.
the 500 miles of filth. I don't know. But look, I'm gonna start things off with a lock. I'm locking the Hilltoppers -6 on the road in Ruston. I think Louisiana Tech sucks.
All day long. I locked up Western Kentucky last week. They had no problem covering against another bad CUSA team. Western Kentucky and Liberty are head and shoulders above anybody else in the conference, and they're laying less than a touchdown.
Jacksonville State might be in that mix, but you're
Okay.
locking this too?
I'm locking it up, definitely. Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Let's roll.
We got a double lock to start things off. How you doing over there, Patty C?
Contemplating. I mean, Nebraska, keeping it relatively close against Nebraska isn't such an accomplishment after seeing Nebraska against Michigan last week. So I will say I agree with you guys. Louisiana Tech does suck. And Western Kentucky pretty darn good despite without that Ohio State performance being taken into consideration. I'll roll with you. I'm not gonna lock it.
Coward. All right. We move over to Friday's action. Okay, we got Big 12 Fridays. Brett Yormark wants to do more of this. I like this. I'm on board.
Only problem is these games kind of suck for 2 Power 5 games.
I kind of like the Kansas State Oklahoma State game. But you're a noted Big 12 hater. So Kansas State lay at 12. As they head to Stillwater. What do I like about it? The reigning Big 12 champs on the road.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
This is a team though that just lost to South Alabama, who we proved last week isn't that good, and Iowa State, who we know isn't that good. 2 straight losses. Oklahoma State looking pretty
They're
sus.
still at home.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
coming off a bye too. Maybe
look, this is a game that goes back to 1908, and Oklahoma State has a 15-game lead. So if anything, if K-State wins 48-0 again, they lower that to 14 games. They're coming for you, Gandhi. However, I will take the 12 points and Oklahoma State coming off a bye. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I mean, at least Alan Bowman has finally been given, the green light to be the starter for Oklahoma State. He's by far the best quarterback on that roster. I don't know why Gundy took so long making that happen. He had at least 2 or 3 games where he was rotating 3 quarterbacks. It was a complete disaster. And you know what? Oklahoma State had their best offensive output last week, or I think they're coming off a bye. The last time they played. So, with all that said, though, I still can't trust Oklahoma State. I think Kansas State is one of the better teams in the conference. I don't like it, but I'm going to lay the points.
I'm seeing it 11.5. And even if it was 12.5, I'm with you, Nick.
I see a flat 12.
Oh, flat 12. Yeah. I would lay it as well. And you know what? Going back, I think I'm going to lock Western Kentucky with you guys.
Came around.
This guy over here.
Sometimes it takes a little time. Got to marinate on these things a little bit.
He thinks about it for
a lot of people go to college for 7 years.
Triple lock. All right. Oh, there we go. There we go, Blue Raiders. Nobody walks into Johnny Red Floyd Stadium and gets the dub. I'm curious if this game's going to happen. This is Nebraska at Illinois. It dates back to 1892. Nebraska does hold a 7-game lead. But
why would this game not happen?
Because Illinois Stadium was on fire all this morning. I got tagged in like 20 fucking things. If you caught this headline at all?
I saw it, yeah.
Like kind of a major fire at Illinois Stadium.
Wow.
So that's the only fire that's came out of that fucking stadium in all season. Has been the literal fire that's been set. All right.
There's an ass fire that's been going on there, but that's about it.
I mean, look, I locked up Illinois over 6.5 wins. This is like a must win.
That ship has sailed.
No, it hasn't. They're the Big Ten West. Yeah. Hear me out here. They win this, you're 3-3. They got Maryland on deck. Winnable.
Then
that's
generous. That's generous.
What? Maryland sucks.
Maryland's 5-0.
They beat nobody.
They whooped.
I am so sick of hearing your bullshit. You know what I mean?
5-0 is 5-0.
Good God. Patty C's going to give Maryland a fucking... They got Bear Bryant back on the sidelines, according to Patty C. All right?
Hey, let me say this. Maryland beat Virginia by 29 points. JMU, who's also 5-0, beat UVA by 1. Blah, 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 blah.
Not sure where we're going with that.
NC State beat...
what the fuck are we trying to accomplish?
What I'm trying to say is when you compare their success against a common opponent, Maryland has done way better against some decent teams or compared to some decent teams. That's one way of comparing how good a team is.
We don't compare that anymore like that. All right. This isn't the fucking BCS here. All right.
Maryland had a decent performance. They're a decent football team.
Look, anyway, they can win that game. They also have Wisconsin in Champaign. They also at Minnesota. Who knows who the fuck's going to win that? They also get Indiana in Champaign. They might win out. They're at Iowa. Cade McNamara is another injury out for the year.
There are some
home to Northwestern. Are you kidding me? Illinois might don't even burn your ticket yet on them winning the Big Ten West. Illinois is laying 3.5. I will lay the 3.5 because I think Nebraska's terrible. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Champaign?
I agree. I do think the place is going to be rowdy, being Friday night. And Nebraska, do you really trust any of their quarterbacks on the road, even if Jeff Sims gets a start or if it's Heinrich Harburg, who played against Michigan last week? Nebraska is trash. I don't know how good the Illini are, but they're a little bit better, and they have the better quarterback, and they're at home. Give me the Fighting Illini.
Patty C, what are you doing in Champaign?
I don't know. Nebraska sucks so bad right now that I have to go.
And if this could be the first road start for what was his name?
Heinrich Harburg.
Yeah, Quentin Habsburg.
I will say I agree with Nick that Big Ten West football in this particular instance is unwatchable. It is god awful. Both of these teams very difficult to watch. Illinois squeaked by Florida Atlantic and Toledo in a bullshit win.
Do you know why Illinois football is unwatchable? It's because they're passing too much.
Well, Reggie Love the third better step his game up.
Bielema doesn't know what he's doing here. They're passing too much.
If you like Nebraska, the argument is that this game screams a field goal game, so you might as well take the hook if you're seeing it at 3.5.
Now, there's a reason why this place almost burnt down. Bielema needs to win, all right? Let's go. Saturday, first ever matchup between Real Money Kramer's Western Michigan Broncos heading to Stark Vegas to take on a terrible Mississippi State team that will be looking for a new head coach after the season, in my opinion. Mississippi State is laying 20.5 points.
That's a lot.
If you can get 21, take the points. 20.5. Yeah, give me the MAC. The MAC's up this year, man. They make a point. Stark Vegas only lose by 20.
Western Michigan's been slapped around by
they almost beat Toledo.
Similar teams. I guess that's a feather in their cap. Well, they lost by 18 to Toledo. They didn't almost beat.
They were winning in the second half.
They let Iowa hang 41. No, I am fading them on that alone. I'll roll Mississippi State at home. Get those cowbells out.
NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm on side with Patty C here. Mississippi State has lost 3 in a row, but that's Bama, LSU, and at South Carolina. They're going to find it a lot easier to push around the Broncos. So
should have lost to Arizona too.
True, yeah. I don't feel great laying that many points with a team with a bad offense like Mississippi State, but they're at home. Let's go. Yeah.
I forgot to answer this one. Thank you, chat, for reminding me. Friday night, we do have Cornell at Harvard. Goes back to 1890. These Ivy League games. Last week, that was one of the best games. Last week's Friday night games were perfect because, no one scored more than 30 points. Football was back to where it should be. Every game was 10-7.
Is that what we need? We need 1950s Fridays?
Yeah, exactly.
That'd
I want
be
the
good.
scores. I'm sorry, that Ole Miss LSU game, besides rushing the field and that idiot jumping off the goalpost and the security guard blocking the
By
fuck
the
out of
way,
everybody.
that guy is fucking way tougher than I am. I would not jump off a goalpost and just purposefully
he was
land
hammered.
on my
Yes,
back.
you would.
Maybe.
I can tell you, as someone that has hung out with you our entire fucking
I
life.
have never once. I've been hammered 100 million times. I have never jumped 10 feet down straight onto my back.
Well, he wasn't trying to do that.
He was trying to do a flip.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. Then.
I'm sure you've done something
I
similar.
jumped off the football house roof at JMU.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What are you talking
That's
about?
true.
But look, that game sucked, in my opinion. I don't want to see 52 to fucking 49 or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. Give me 10-7 all day. NC Nick, this is a big time Ivy League game. Cornell, Jamison Wang, quarterback of Cornell, the Big Red.
Great name.
Harvard just scored a huge upset against Holy Cross. Harvard's laying 17 points, 17.5 actually. That's enough for me to take the Big Red. I think the Big Red They had a big win week 1. 2 weeks ago they had a big win. Then they stumbled last week. I think Jamison Wang takes them back to the promised land. They cover the 17.5. Nick, what are you doing here Friday night?
Yeah, I agree. Let down spot, take the points.
Patty?
Harvard. What are they? 3-0.
Fucking Harvard.
Hey, you beat Holy Cross. I don't know. That number is what again?
It's a letdown spot. 17.5.
That's too many.
Yeah,
that is too many.
It's like 1,000 points in the Ivy League.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back down to the FBS. Toledo, UMass. What the people want. 9 a.m. kick on the West. Series dates back to 1983. Toledo has a 5-game lead. They used to be in the MAC together. Toledo's laying 19 points, and I will play it. I've been getting burned by UMass lately, man. I can't figure them out. They look really good one week.
Oh, no, they suck. They suck ass. There you go. Figure it out. They suck.
Do I need to remind you, Toledo is always a disaster when they're a big favorite? They won by 2 to Northern Illinois last week. They did not cover any of the past 3 games.
I don't care. They hung 71 in a game earlier this year. Maybe UMass has had a couple impressive performances, but still.
Go.
Touchdown.
There we go.
To me, 19.5 is laughable. UMass hasn't proven anything. A 4-1 team versus a 1-5 terrible team. I'm all over
You're
Toledo.
gonna lock it?
I'm all over Toledo. I am gonna lock it.
Woo!
Wow.
That's his team. He's a Rocket man. All right, big Elton John fan too.
You know, I'll give UMass a little credit. Maybe I'm shading them a little too hard because of that Auburn score. They've kept it close in a lot of those other games.
That's what I mean. It's like the Eastern Michigan game. They had that game won if it wasn't for that sissy little tackle by their corner. The New Mexico game, I feel like they had it won. And then last week they just got their ass whooped. I don't understand
Even
it.
only losing to Miami, Ohio by 13. Obviously, as a Bearcats fan, I'm more impressed by that.
Nick,
I don't know.
Nick,
I'm
what are you
still
doing
rolling
here?
with Toledo?
Yeah, look, I mean, Arkansas State just rolled into the McGurk and won 52-28 in the Clinton Bowl. As I predicted, I'm going to continue fading UMass, and I'm going to lay the points with the Rockets.
Yeah.
If you can make Arkansas State look great this year,
That's what I'm saying.
you are complete ass.
Yeah, definitely. Maryland is 0-8 all time against Ohio State. Their first game ever was 2014. They have yet to win against the Buckeyes.
These scores are freaking hilarious.
In Columbus, hold on. Let me just tell you, this spread is 20 points. All right, 20 points.
It's inching upwards.
Yes, and do I need to tell you about their performances in Columbus? Because the last time they played in Columbus, they lost 66-17. The time before that, they lost 73-14. The time before that in Columbus, 62-14. The time before that, 49-28. That was the closest in 2015.
That was the good game.
Folks, I think this calls for a Dundee lock. I will lay the 20 because I think Maryland is counterfeit as can be. Ohio State's going to lay it on them. Style points matter. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Columbus?
I agree with you. I don't know if I'm going to lock it, but I mean, great scheduling for Ohio State. The big emotional win at Notre Dame, and then they have a bye week to settle down, regroup. If you were looking to fade the Buckeyes, it would have been after the Notre Dame game, if they played the following week. So, yeah, I mean, I think you go with history here, and I think Maryland is a phony 5-0. So let's roll Buckeyes.
Disagree.
Lock battle?
Fuck it. Let's do it. I don't know. 20's not enough.
I'm
20's not enough.
I just rattle off those scores, buddy.
Yeah.
You're
It's
getting
not enough
bold over there.
But we are going to have a clip-worthy moment here because a common opponent did play both of them. Indiana, which Ohio State beat by 20, and Maryland beat by 27. So
There you go. Maryland's going to win straight up.
it sounds like Maryland is, based on that matchup, the better team. I think 20 points is a lot. So I am going to take Maryland to cover 20.
What's their Ken Palm ranking, Patty C?
Wait, I will pull up their
Not
FBI,
basketball joke.
even though fucking ESPN's FBI still has Alabama over Texas. Very nice.
Look, that's one of those brand new rivalries that sucks about college football. They had never played before they joined the Big Ten. Same with this one. Rutgers, Wisconsin. First meeting was 2014 as well. Wisconsin's they're undefeated against Rutgers. 4-0. Rutgers is catching 13. I'm buying in to Shiano. Give me the 13 on the road. I don't think Wisconsin's any good, but then again, I don't know how good Rutgers really is. Their best win is like Temple or Virginia Tech. I'll take the 13 because I just think their defense is pretty decent. Nick, what are you doing here?
Definitely liked it earlier in the week where it was 14 or 14.5, but I'm still riding Rutgers. The most they've given up this year was 31 to Michigan. I think this defense can keep Wisconsin in probably like the 20s, and Rutgers is going to get, a touchdown or two. So I think Wisconsin is another team where I think is unproven. So this game is very interesting, actually. I'm definitely taking the points.
I mean, how unproven is Wisconsin? We were giving them a lot of shit, but they did throttle Georgia Southern by 21 in their only loss, a Georgia Southern team that's otherwise looked pretty good.
They did not.
They
handled in that game.
I was going to say throttle. Is throttle the right word to use in that game?
Go watch that game and tell me they're the better team.
Okay, well, they won by 21. They also won by 21 against Purdue.
Okay, now that one I agree.
And
I agree.
Only lost by 9 at Washington State, which is starting to look like a respectable score.
They're also down by a lot more in that game.
Sure. I mean, look, I'm not saying Wisconsin's world beaters. In fact, I'm taking Rutgers, but I will say that Wisconsin is better than I thought they would be.
What? No way. I think they're much worse than I thought they would be.
You thought the Dairy Raid was going to come in and just operate?
Well, no, I thought their defense would be a little bit better. I don't think they're a very good football team. Like I said, Georgia Southern moved the ball up and down the field. Like, just watch that game. And I know Wisconsin won.
Davis Brin is a lawn chair. He's going to throw interceptions in clutch moments. He's going to.
I just don't think Wisconsin was impressive. I don't think they've been impressive. Buffalo lost to Fordham.
Yeah, that wasn't impressive.
Georgetown just beat Fordham.
Game one of the Dairy Raid, you got to give them a little slack.
And go back to this game. The over-runner's at 44. I think it's tough to lay 13 in a game, that's not supposed to be high scoring. So Rutgers all day.
Yeah.
I think Rutgers is pretty good.
The defense. I don't know about the offense.
Yeah.
I don't know about the offense. We'll see. Moving along. William and Mary going into Charlottesville. Patty C. Where are you at currently on your? Because they didn't get it done against Boston College. Did we battle there?
Can I remind you that I took the under on UV? I don't know how often I have to remind Colby that I took the under on UV.
But you said no, the schedule's not that hard. It's appearing hard.
By the way, that was a push too. Wasn't it BC -3?
Yeah. But my point is that if they had to beat BC and William and Mary and then Georgia Tech later.
No, the under is hitting for Virginia this year. Yeah. But I'll say this, the Pitt game looks winnable.
That is true.
They always surprise, or play Miami and North Carolina pretty tough.
Patty, do you think they should have brought Musket back? I mean, I think you just roll with Calandria, but Musket played last week.
Calandria too, but I was impressed with Musket. I wasn't impressed with him week 1, but if they're seeing him in practice every day, obviously they brought him in and he played well. So,
do you bring back Tony Elliott, NASCAR driver? If they go 0-12,
if they go 0-12, that might be grounds for firing.
So,
because you have to win, even if you play teams close, you have to win some of them.
William and Mary was an FCS playoff team last year that won a couple games, but their star running back Bronson Yoder, I believe, is out indefinitely. I don't know, but they lost last week to Elon. William and Mary, this is a series that goes back. They've been playing ball together since 1908. William and Mary has 6 wins against Virginia in that time, 2009 being the last one.
It's so fun when William and Mary beats UVA because they're the academic juggernauts in the state. And Virginia is always leaning on that athletics edge. And when William and Mary gets it, it's like,
we're better in athletics. We're better on the field.
We're better than you motherfuckers.
And remember, Mike London, head coach of William and Mary, played at Virginia, was the former Virginia head coach, got fired by the Wahoos.
Revenge spot.
Anyway, this game is actually kind of intriguing to me.
What's the line?
I am seeing it at Virginia -10.
After last week's performance by
I'll take the points, man.
Why not just because I want to root for William and Mary.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I was gonna wear my UVA hat this week because JMU's on bye, but then I realized I want William and Mary to win this straight up. So Do I think? No, I think UVA is a better team than that. And I would have thought that William and Mary would have won that, but with Yoder out, he got injured 2 weeks ago. So obviously last week they missed him. They lose to Elon. They have no.
It was a look ahead spot.
Maybe a look ahead spot.
Elon's a good team too, man.
I gotta lean on, but I'm taking William and Mary. Let's go Tribe. Let's go Indians. Let's be honest.
Let's go. Go into Charlottesville. Get the dub. Next up, LSU heads into Columbia, Missouri. LSU, the series dates back to 1978. By the way, Missouri does lead this all-time series. Guys, LSU's pass defense is horrible, and there was some terrible news. Want to send our love, condolences, or I don't know about love, prayers, all that stuff to Greg Brooks and his family.
Kind of condolence worthy.
Yeah. I know they found out he had brain cancer. Bad enough he had a tumor. Now it's a terrible scenario there. And wish the best for Brooks, Greg Brooks and his family.
Maybe a little chemo. Maybe I don't know how brain cancer works, but maybe they just and they fix it.
Hopefully, man. Yeah. Brian Kelly though and his family are having a tough time. I'll say this: if you lose this game, we might be entering next year with Brian Kelly on the hot seat because this would be 3 losses with A&M and Bama still on the deck. So
yeah.
LSU's laying 5.5, I think it is currently. Look, in the preseason episodes, I took Missouri. I still think Missouri right now can attack that weak secondary. Maybe I wasn't counting on LSU to beat or to lose to Ole Miss, so maybe they bounce back. But I'll take the points at home with Missouri and Luther Bird and NC Nick. What are you doing here in Columbia?
Yeah, we did the SEC preview, and Colby and I also previewed Mizzou, and I did call for the upset here. I did not expect LSU to be coming into this game losing the previous one, though. That's my, pause for hesitation. I still like the home team. I still like the home dog. I'm still going to take the points, but I might just sit back and not bet this one and just see how it plays out.
Patty, see what are you doing here in Columbia, Missouri?
I feel like you have to be all over Missouri, just because their wins are pretty impressive for the most part.
It's a tough road trip too. I mean, I think that's one of the more challenging places to win in the SEC. Like everyone thinks the Swamp, which is challenging, there's a lot of great home environments, but I feel like the weird one out of the whole conference is Columbia, Missouri.
The noon kick doesn't help though.
The noon kick doesn't help, and it's a little bit of a concern is that it took them a while to pull away from Vanderbilt last week. In fact, they were losing early on in that game until almost near halftime.
Look ahead spot, though.
Could be a look ahead spot.
Missouri's played pretty much everybody close.
Yeah.
I guess. South Dakota, they whooped. And South Dakota, the win over South Dakota.
Just went and beat the hell out of North Dakota State in the Fargo Dome.
Yeah, but other than that, mostly close games. Do they win close in Columbia against LSU? Is LSU ready for a bounce back spot? I don't know. I'm going to roll Tigers.
All right. Boston College is heading to Army.
Burden leading the nation in receptions. Yeah. He's looking pretty damn good.
On a shaky secondary between him and Theo Weiss.
He'll go off. But then again, isn't Malik Neighbors? No, I think he's number 2 in the nation in receiving.
But Missouri's defense is actually pretty good.
Either way.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
Yeah. Boston College is at Army. This game goes back to 1917. BC has a 12-game lead, and most of that's happened in the past 12 outings or 10 outings. Actually, in the past 10, Army's only won 2. So they got 8 of those 12 past 10 times they played. Folks, BC is catching 3 points. Hey, look, Army's on the verge of joining the AAC. Can we just drop one of the A's and add a C? I think the ACC should swap out Boston College with Army.
They would benefit from the addition of Army.
Yes.
I think I'd be okay with that. That's a sad state of affairs.
You know what? Army has too good of attendance at their football games. Yeah. Even though they're an elite academic institution, we have to have both.
ACC would be like, no,
terrible attendance and elite athletics.
No. Look, you're selling out your stadiums? That here? Are you fucking kidding me?
Speaking of the stadium, it is at Army, and that's why I favor the Black Knights here. I think they win and cover.
Yeah. I think, you gotta love them in this spot. Patty, see what are you doing here with the Black Knights?
Boston College is a type of team that is an up and down team. I think they had their up in a win last week over UVA. I think they are ready for the down, and Boston College coming off the bye, and the game at Mikey Stadium all points to Army.
Let's go.
The spread is what on that one?
3.
Army's favored by 3.
Okay, that's close, but I'll still take Army.
Yeah, I'm on Army too. All right, now we go all the way to the great state of Texas. In the Texas Fair, where we got the Red River Shootout going on.
I'm offended.
This is one of the best rivalries. I don't give a shit.
I think
what conference you're in.
the name will live up to the moniker this week, despite both of these teams being elite defensive units.
Oklahoma, Texas, both teams undefeated. Both on the verge of jumping into the SEC next year. Greg Sankey's going to be in the house. Not that anyone gives a shit, but he's going to be there. Texas is laying 6.5. They won 49-0. 49. How did he drop? God. Sorry, I'm watching the Middle Tennessee game right now. That was a touchdown that he just dropped. Texas laying 6.5. If you listen to the Database Top 25, I did have Texas as my number 1 team in the land. It's not their fault that they play a backup quarterback every week. And I'm of the opinion Oklahoma's counterfeit. Texas minus 6.5 is my play. NC Nick, what are you doing here in the Red River Shootout?
I completely agree. Last time I locked Texas, they went into Tuscaloosa and got a W in a big game. I'm going to lock them again here, boys, because I kind of agree with Dundee. I don't think Oklahoma is all that great. Sure, they're a good team. They're a solid team, but Texas is definitely they have played nobody.
Yeah.
Texas much more battle tested. They're going to win here. They're going to cover. Lock it up.
I might join you on the lock. I might join. You know what? Let's go. 6.5 is the perfect number too. Let's lock it up. Texas horns up, baby. Disgusting.
Texas will win that game, right? By 3. Because
49-0 last year, buddy.
yeah, well, what has it been like the 15 years before
They
that?
didn't have Venables coaching those years.
Well, Venables and Jeff Levy got it together. You got to give the guy a little time. Dylan Gabriel's come around. That offense, I watched it intensely closely against the Bearcats, and they put on a surgical clinic. I don't think, even though it's a gimmicky offense and it's very pass oriented, I think Texas is going to struggle to deal with that speed, right? Meanwhile, I do think that Texas is a more balanced offense. They're more based on individual matchups. Oklahoma has that. Who's that fucking stud middle lineman? I'm forgetting his name, but they have great players on defense.
The App State transfer, right? I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But either way, even though both I think have pretty decent defenses, both top 30, I think it's going to be a shootout.
Elliot saying Texas has covered the last 4 times they're favored against OU.
Wow, okay. And Ryan in the chat is saying, is Dylan Gabriel playing? I mean, as far as I know, I didn't hear anything saying he wasn't. So
let me just tell you something though. If he's not playing, I actually think that's a better path for Oklahoma to win the game.
Why?
Also, if he's not
Jackson
playing,
Arnold is incredible. If Dylan Gabriel doesn't start this and Jackson Arnold does, Dylan Gabriel has played his last game as an Oklahoma Sooner as a starting quarterback.
Wow, bold call.
I don't know a lot about Jackson Arnold.
He's nasty.
I think if for some reason Gabriel, if there's rumors that he's not playing, you're going to see this line definitely jump over a touchdown. The fact that it's 6.5, I think he's good to go here. I don't think there's any concern there.
He was in concussion protocol. He should live in concussion protocol with that bitch ass style of football that Dylan Gabriel plays. I'm going to run and abruptly slide right before the linebackers every play.
Beg for the flag.
Yeah.
Even still, I mean, I do think that Alabama, they are not. That is not a good comparison to what they're going to face against Oklahoma, because Jalen Milroe and Dylan Gabriel are light years apart in terms of
the best comparison is Kansas, who they just played.
Yeah, but they didn't have
but Jason Bean's still solid.
He's all right.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma's offense is fucking, it moves, man.
They put up 20 against Cincinnati.
I want to say they have the number 3 offense in the nation right now.
That's because they played
It's
one
halfway
in the
through
non-con.
the season. I don't
They
care.
didn't play a power 5.
A lot of teams have played fucking nobody so far, and Oklahoma looks elite.
I disagree. I would say Oklahoma and Georgia's non-cons were by far the weakest. Even Michigan's was better as you're seeing Bowling Green and UNLV look decent.
Okay. I don't know. But all I'm saying is Oklahoma has looked on the eye test pretty impressive to me. So I think they keep it close. I think that Texas
It'll be close first half.
finds a way.
Texas opens it in the fourth.
Jonathan Brooks, is he leading the nation in rushing? Or
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, that's
It'd be fun to do a lock battle, guys. Just throw it out there.
Yeah, we just locked
Yeah.
up Texas.
I'll do it.
Oh!
All right, let's go. Fucking it sooner, baby. Woo! I'll money line it. I will money line it.
Stop
Even
it.
though I
You're
think
getting
Texas
silly.
will do it by a hair. I will gladly money line it. You know why? Because Horn's fucking down. And,
Oh, I do like that.
and you're a little bitch for taking the Longhorns.
We got a lock battle going on. Horns up. Horns up, baby.
Take a screenshot of that.
Horns up.
Take a screenshot of both. Nick, put them up. Put them up, and I'm putting them down.
Let's go.
There it
Let's
is.
go.
There's the screenshot.
You're gonna lose again, buddy. All right. Next up, Central Michigan's heading to Buffalo. Central Michigan's laying 3. This is the Courtney Love game of the fucking week. 3? Why? Buffalo lost to Fordham. I repeat. Fordham then lost to Georgetown, the Hoyas. Dikembe Mutombo does not play football for Georgetown.
Yeah.
All right.
George Mason can't start their football program, but Georgetown, do they even offer scholarships? They're
I
just,
don't think they do.
yeah, they're just
I'm
like,
saying,
oh,
they're
we'll,
just-
we'll take the next guy off the street and we'll dominate.
Why is this line only 3? This should be like, in my opinion, this line should be like 8.5, 9. What the fuck is this? It reeks. I told you last week when we did this filthy show, the LSU Ole Miss game made no sense. And that's why I locked it up, though. I dove into the stink, like Patty C says, and sure enough, they lose because the line made no fucking sense. This line makes no sense.
You going Bulls?
No, I'm just not betting. I'm just not betting this. I'm still going CMU, but this line makes no sense. Patty C, what are you doing in this wacky Maction game?
I want to take a closer look real quick at Central Michigan's body of work.
They beat South Alabama at South Alabama.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is why, it's understandable why they were sluggish last week against Eastern Michigan, especially in
That's
the
a
first half.
rivalry game too, man. That's
True.
a old school rivalry game. Yeah,
getting rocked by Michigan State is a bad look.
that was when they had Mel Tucker.
Okay, I guess that means
Still a bad
something.
look.
Buffalo's losses, mind you, kind of close. Fordham 3, Louisiana
Fordham.
7.
Do I gotta tell you that Georgetown just beat Fordham again?
Oh, I'm with you. We'll roll Chippewas even on the road. Is it getting cold enough that will Central Michigan ever be affected by weather?
I
Probably
don't
not.
think so.
No.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
we'll go Chippewas.
Yeah, fire up, Chips. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, they're just clearly the better team. And you're right, the line does stink, but I'm not putting any money on Buffalo, that's for sure. So let's go with Chips.
Stinks to high heaven, man. Marshall, the Thundering Herd, one of the last remaining undefeated group of 5 teams. They're dreaming. All right. They're dreaming. Can they dream on in good old Raleigh, North Carolina, as MJ Morris starts his first game of the season for the Wolfpack? NC State's laying 6.5.
What do you got?
I'm locking up NC State minus 6.5.
Ballsy play.
Marshall, this is their first road game of the season, right?
They played at ECU.
Oh yeah. But they should have lost to ECU. So they get it done here. This is the MJ Morris show. All right, they get it done. NC State. See, Marshall's skill is running the ball. NC State's got a decent D line. I think they can bottle them up some. I'll lay the 6.5, and that's a tough environment. And they're not going to lose back-to-back games in Carter Finley. I think. Give me a. And by the way, at Marshall, this is I think the 6th time they're playing, one of the two. They've never beaten NC State, and it's not going to start. It's not going to start this weekend. NC State minus 6.5. Get it in now, folks. Patty C, what are you doing here?
I will say that I'm surprised Vegas was able to stay disciplined after last week, and this spread isn't bigger than it should be, because ODU, that score was pretty close. What was the final score? That 6-point win for Marshall. You would think if you can only beat Marshall by 6 at home, you got to go to NC State. You're probably going to lose.
ECU is beating Marshall 13-10 in the 4th before all hell broke loose.
Yeah. That said, I will say that ODU went off. Who's the running back?
Rashina Lee.
Yeah, no.
No,
ODU's
ODU.
running
Oh,
back.
I'm sorry.
11
Davius,
rushes
for 200,
yeah.
900 yards.
Looking like Barry Sanders over there. I forget his name.
Yeah, I forget it
Yeah.
too. I think I'm with you. I think it's too hard of an environment. You got to go NC State
Lock it.
here. Sure.
Oh, let's go. NC Nick, triple lock?
No, I'm on Marshall. I'm not laying 6.5 with NC State.
Me and Patty C will lock up.
Look,
the Wolfpack
NC State just took a major step forward by benching Brennan Armstrong, right?
Ooh.
We talked about that. I don't know if that's going to have the outcome that you're expecting. I think this is a low-scoring game, and NC State can still win this and not cover. So give me the points in Marshall.
Yeah, I would be lying if I said a great feeling about it.
I feel pretty good
I am
about it.
locking it just because the score.
Just follow Dundee into the fire.
And it smells
right?
a little bit. It
Yeah.
smells.
Let's go. First ever matchup between UTSA and Temple. UTSA is laying 14. I say lay it. Temple sucks ass. They suck ass. I was so frustrated watching that Tulsa game. I'm never taking Temple again this year. Yeah, I will lay the 14 with UTSA. Nick, what are you doing here at the link?
So UTSA coming off a bye, they desperately need a win, sitting at 1-3. Nobody thought UTSA would be 1-3. Apparently, Captain Harris is a game time decision.
Oh, he's playing.
I think so because they really need this. So I do like UTSA lay the points.
Patty C, what are you doing at the link?
1-3 so far, getting rocked that bye week. How will it impact UTSA? 14 points. 14 points. I want Temple.
Oh, a little home dog, huh?
I'm taking the point.
Go with it. Go with it, buddy. Feel good about yourself. All right. Howard is taking on Northwestern. First ever meeting. Northwestern, they kind of hung with Penn State for a little bit there.
Real quick, why is Mike Elko, why is his name being thrown around for the Northwestern job?
Northwestern. I'm hearing Michigan State job.
I've heard that too, but I've heard Northwestern.
Why would you go from Duke to Northwestern?
My question
Big Ten money.
Still, Big Ten, a big time scandal also. Like,
True.
I don't want to be that guy following that shit. You go down the recruiting trail. Yeah, we did this thing called the car wash where everyone fucking, everyone jumped around in the shower.
That said, yeah, you don't want to be that guy that follows that
Fuck
scandal.
that,
No,
man.
not
All
at
day. I would stay at Duke all day.
Yeah, 100%. But Nick's right. There are similar programs in terms of probably upside.
But I didn't hear Elko to Northwestern. I heard him to Michigan State.
Yeah, I heard Michigan State too.
I heard it on a telecast that someone mentioned Northwestern. I don't know if that's being thrown around by a lot of people.
Telemundo?
Telemundo.
Right. Talking about they did a segment on Elko?
Did you see it on Telegram? Is that what you said?
Northwestern's laying 25.5 against Howard. I'll take the points. Sleepy game. Howard's all right. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm gonna lay them. Actually, I think Northwestern has surprised me. They're showing some fight. They're showing some heart.
Patty, what are you doing
Northwestern is an improved team. Okay, they kept it close for a half against Penn State.
They beat Minnesota.
They did get their ass whooped by Duke, and they beat UTEP. What? It's a tough game.
Actually, they did. You're right. They laid it on UTEP. I'll lay the points. Actually, now that I think about it.
I'm all over it. Northwestern. Yeah. They're rolling. Well, who's their interim coach again right now?
It's the DC from North Dakota State. I'm drawing a blank.
Don't
ask me any more fucking names. All right.
Tragic Magic may have run its course. Penn State did end up whooping them.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this might be the game. There's several awesome games this weekend. I think it's a low key. This could be that week. That I feel like could steal the college football Saturday here.
Speaking of that, hold on one second. There's only 45 games on Saturday.
A lot of teams on bye.
Yeah, so more games during the week. A lot of teams on bye. Last week there was 52 games on Saturday. Week before that, 62. So we're getting an abbreviated slate here.
Yeah, and there's always that there's always that weekend. I don't know what weekend it's going to be. We haven't seen it where we've had all the upsets. I feel like it's going to happen because the parity is there. It just matters what week it's going to hit. You know what I mean? So
can I say something?
What's that?
I feel like in this year, the football gods have a poetic hand. And in this particular year, I feel like people want to see chalk, because it is the last year of the 14 playoff. They want to see tradition, whether that be the referees, the fan bases, whatever the energy is. Let's put these traditional blue bloods in the playoff, and the small guys, they won't have their say because this is the end of it. And the small guys are going to have their say moving forward in a 12-team playoff. It's a farewell to the 14 playoff. I don't know. I don't know.
14 playoff major fail.
Hey, who is it? It's fucking Barrett Sallee out there saying the parity in this year, the fact that it's a wide open slate is a great reason why we should have the BCS.
BCS is the worst fucking
stupidest fucking
come again
ever.
Yeah, he's an SEC guy. All right, any of the SEC guys will say that's 4-team.
It's because it makes his opinion mean more. A subjective fucking AP voter opinion mean more when he can determine the outcome of the season.
The BCS was the worst. I hate the 4-team invitational. I think 4 makes no sense in the sport with 133 teams.
Yeah.
But it's still better than the BCS.
15 teams right now that look exactly the fucking same halfway through the season, and you want to have a 2-team playoff?
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
And
Sorry.
The BCS has Miami number 1 right now, who has played.
Miami is a unknown quantity.
Do they still have BCS rankings?
I think someone did it.
Really?
I saw Miami number 1. But Miami also hasn't played a conference game yet, or they haven't played on the road in a. I mean, they did play at
Temple,
but not at any tough environment.
Yeah.
Washington State is at UCLA. This game's awesome. Washington State's catching 3.5 points. Wrong fucking team favored. Washington State's going into Pasadena with that little wine and cheese crowd. And Pat McAfee. Who'd you call it? I'll raise you one higher. McAfee. All right. A guy who went to West Virginia, calling out Washington State fans.
Disgusting.
Yeah, you are. West Virginia is Washington State of the East, you fucking bozo, all right?
Yeah.
Look.
That's like the Arizona State coach calling out West Virginia.
Yeah.
That's revenge by McAfee.
Yeah, and look, because their fans are upset because they're being left behind when they've had a better program than, I think you might even be able to argue, better program than West Virginia over 30 years. So
let the debate begin.
Let's go. I just thought that was ridiculous. But anyway, UCLA's laid 3.5. Washington State's going to win this outright. This is a huge. If Washington State wins this game, I think you might start. It's almost like the Louisville situation, because Washington State does not play Utah or USC. I know they still have to play Oregon and Washington, but 2 losses might get you in there if they handle business against Colorado and Cal and Stanford.
They're very alive.
Yeah.
They're very alive.
This is a huge game for the Washington State Cougars. I'm on them. I think they're ready. Both teams had a bye week. NC Nick, what are you doing here at the Rose Bowl?
Well, first off, get your rabbit ears ready because this is on the Pac-12 network. So, one of the best games of the whole weekend, and hardly anybody's going to be able to watch it.
So glad that conference is. No, I'm joking.
Perfect.
No, Washington State. That's the irony. Even though Washington State might end up in the Mountain West, at least the whole country will be able to watch them.
Right?
You're losing $30 million. You're going to lay off, hundreds of people. But at the same time, everyone's going to be able to watch your games.
At least you don't need to go to China and, get some strict connection. Look,
sorry, man. I haven't made my pick yet. I completely agree with Colby. I mean, how can you fade Cam Ward and Wazzu right now? I'm going Wazzu. Take the points, money line, lock it up.
Let's go.
Wait.
Lock it up. I'm sorry. Carson Steele's our boy, but we got to fade him right here.
UCLA is favored in this game.
By 3.5. Triple lock?
Yes.
All right. Let's have a lock party.
Let's fucking go. The Cougs. All right. Where the hell's my music? Where the hell is my music?
Friends through eternity, loyalty, honesty will stay together through thick or thin.
Stay in there the rest of the episode.
We do play to win.
Ball State.
Wait, real quick. I want to say this. Washington State, their resume may be more impressive than people realize. Beating Washington, beating Oregon State.
Wait, Washington.
Or Wisconsin, rather.
Yeah.
Beating Wisconsin, beating Oregon State, and whooping Colorado State by 26. Colorado State, meanwhile,
looked pretty good.
Looked all right against Colorado, who looked
Colorado
all right.
State's won 2 in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
it took them a long time to put away Utah Tech last week.
It's true. Okay. That is true.
Look, I'm just saying,
still a road win.
We identified Oregon State as America's darling. Maybe Washington State is America's darling.
Both of them are.
Yeah, they both.
Both of them are. That's the Pac-12 championship the people won.
That's
all right. I'm telling you. Look, Washington State, disrespect. This is like the coolest fucking. Kidding me? Washington State, fucking McAfee. The fuck is what's going on? He gets the ESPN. All of a sudden, he starts being a fucking suit.
A corporate shill.
Yeah, what's going on?
I did see someone saying that he doesn't understand college game day. If you're calling out Washington State with that flag having been there,
the history of the show is Washington State with the fucking flag being there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Ball State is heading into Ypsilanti, Michigan to take on Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan's laying 2.5.
This is the shit game.
I'm on. You know what? Eastern Michigan missed a game-tying field goal.
Yeah.
They actually scored a touchdown, I believe, or threw like a pass down to the 2-yard line that got called back on that drive. They're hungry. They're hungry to win one here. They get it done against Ball State. Give me Chris Creighton -2.5. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Ball State's only win is against Indiana State. Eastern Michigan's only wins are against UMass and Howard. Howard did play Eastern Michigan pretty tight. Only
Howard's
a 10-point
solid.
game.
They're solid, man. Yeah.
Both these teams suck, but I think you have to side with the home team and the better coach. So give me Eastern Michigan too.
Nobody goes into the factory and gets a dub. All right. Patty C, what are you doing here?
you would have had a pretty good argument up until last week that Ball State's 1-3 start was attributable to the tough opponents at Kentucky, at Georgia, and then Georgia Southern. But they did just get whooped by a bad Western Michigan team. You got to roll Eastern Michigan. I would love to see a stat whether Chris Creighton winning close games at home. You know, he probably does that.
He's getting it done here.
He is getting it done.
Lexington Steel's not on Ball State anymore. All right, folks.
Rynearson Stadium, that gray turf.
That's insane. You can't just walk in there and get the dub. All right, folks, this concludes Side A. Stick around for Side B. If you're watching on YouTube, hang on for a second here. All right, we are back on the B side of the college football experience. Go listen to the A side where we tackled pretty much all the 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern kicks and the weeknight games and talked a little injuries and, Barrett, Sally, and Pat McAfee caught some strays. All right, let's go. Let's talk about one that, they've been playing since what, like 1955? Virginia Tech, Florida State going at it in Tallahassee. Florida State coming off a bye. Florida State leads the all-time series by 10, and once upon a time they played this in a national championship game, and it shouldn't have been a national championship because Nebraska got hosed. Florida State's laying 24 points. I think at 26, I took Virginia Tech. I don't know. Give me the points. I don't like it. I don't know. Lay it, actually. Lay it. Alpha bye. Lay it. I'm all over the place here. But I feel like Virginia Tech sucks ass. But that was a nice win there. You know what? Yeah, give me the points. Give me the points. I think, late in the game, you could get a score or two from Florida State. I'm sorry, from Virginia Tech. But
So we get our kicks doing the Seminole rap. We are the Seminoles of Florida State. We know we're good. Some say we're great.
Patty C, what are you doing here?
You know, I would be lying if I said I had a close watch on Virginia Tech. I was completely taken aback and off guard with their win last week.
Well, it's not like Pitt's beating anybody.
Still.
Pitt's one win is what, Wofford?
They whooped them after losing to some.
No, I agree. I took Pitt. I actually bet on Pitt last week.
Yeah.
I ate shit.
So I don't know. I don't even really know who killed it in that game for Virginia Tech. That said, I think that's probably fool's gold to go and take Virginia Tech in that game. So I have to go Florida State here, but who knows? You know, maybe I'm missing it. Maybe Virginia Tech turned a corner.
NC Nick, what are you doing here in Tallahassee?
Really, it was a coming out party for Kyron Drones, a quarterback for Virginia Tech, who threw for 228, threw 3 touchdowns, ran for 2 touchdowns. I liked enough of what I saw with him. Hopefully he can carry that into this week in Tallahassee. I'm going to take the points here, but I don't love it.
Syracuse is taking on North Carolina in a game that started in the mid-90s, 1995 to be exact. The Qs are catching 9.5. Lay it. I think Syracuse's offense, they got too many injuries, man. It was evident in the Clemson game. They also can't catch interceptions, which was evident in the Clemson game. I think North Carolina, I think they get it done by like 14. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Chapel Hill?
Kind of went back and forth on this one, but I settled on the same side as you. I'm a little worried about the physical run game that Syracuse has. It might be able to cause some problems with the Tar Heels, but at the end of the day, I don't think they can keep up offensively. So I'm going to lay the big number.
Patty C?
I'm going to disagree with you. I think all of North Carolina's wins up to this point looked a little less impressive. South Carolina, not that good. App State, meh. Minnesota, Pitt, meh. Meanwhile, Syracuse, Clemson bounces back after losses, and they did in a big way against Syracuse. I think people are probably thinking about that too much. Now, the fact that it's in Chapel Hill scares me a little bit, but
coming off a bye too is UNC.
Okay, that does.
I'm just gonna say I think the real reason is Aronde Gadsden's out for the season. Their star tight end / wideout. Their other guy, Stephen Mahar, out for the season. Their wide receiver Pena is questionable to doubtful. Their other wide receiver Isaiah Jones out.
That offense has been
they don't have the depth, man.
Listen to these offensive scores by Syracuse: 65, 48, 35, 29, 14.
7 this week.
Yeah. maybe that offense is running out of steam.
Yeah, I just feel like they're losing guys left and
I'll
right.
say who's the coordinator that was with an eye at
Jason Beck.
Beck has been looking pretty good, but that was not a good performance last week. Either way, I'm on Q's.
Going Q's. Wake Forest is heading to Clemson. They've been playing this game forever, and Clemson beats the piss out of them, no matter the decade. Clemson has a 53-game lead against Wake Forest. Good God. This is the 89th all-time meeting. Clemson is laying 21. At 21, give me Wake. At 21, give me Wake, because I don't think Clemson's offense is where it needs to be yet.
I agree, and Wake is another team coming off a bye, which was much needed after 2 lackluster performances, the loss against Georgia Tech, the comeback win against ODU. I think they figure a few things out offensively, trust the coaching for at least a cover.
Yeah. This is a tough one. Wake is a bit of a confusing team. Coming off the bye, though, you have to trust Dave.
If you can get a hook here, I see like a 42-21.
What's one of those Dave coaches? Not Dave Dorn. Clausen. Yeah.
Good guy. You can't get a name fucking right over there, buddy.
Dave Clausen. Meanwhile, look, Clemson is better than their little 3-2 record indicates. They yardage
should have
wise,
been Florida State.
They should have been Florida State, and yardage wise, they kept up with Duke. They could smash Clemson, but I feel like Wake just could smash Wake. I feel like Wake will cover.
Now we're going to Annapolis in a series that dates back to 2007. Navy does hold the lead here. Navy's laying 6 against the North Texas Mean Green. It's a conference game now. You know what? I almost locked this one, Nick. Nick, should we lock this one? I think Navy's going to fuck them up.
I'm on North Texas.
Okay. Let's not lock it then.
I'm definitely not locking it. Really?
I might be betting on this on Saturday. I think North Texas is terrible. And I think they are learning that life without Seth Luttrell is very, very difficult. You barely beat Abilene Christian last week. The week before they beat La Tech, but La Tech I think is like a bottom 10 team.
Yeah.
I think North Texas sucks. I think Navy is going to lay it on them. However, I won't lock it with some peer pressure. I do believe in peer pressure. So I would consider a lock here. Patty C?
Let's see what side Patty's on.
6 points seems like a lot for Navy to cover.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, they did play Memphis kind of close.
How do these Texas teams do when they face the option, Patty C?
Oh, Patty C loves that.
In Navy, it's still
they don't pass it that much.
They don't. I know.
It's Army. It's Army that passes it.
Air Force has 19 passes on the season. They're 5-0. They have 19 passes.
That Calhoun. That sandbag and son of a gun.
Curveball.
But look, let me give you some stats here. Navy has passed the ball now a lot more than normal, but even with that, it is 56 passes on the season.
10 passes a game, a lot. They're really throwing the ball around down there.
They're gonna fuck up North Texas.
But I'll take the midshipmen too to cover.
Nick, you gonna switch your pick?
No, I'm on North Texas.
All right, let's go to College Station. Awesome game. This weekend does have some huge games. Washington State, UCLA, the Red River Shootout, LSU, Missouri. If Missouri wins that, they'll be undefeated and go. Then you could say that they look like they're going to be, Kentucky, Georgia. You got these huge games going on. This one's one of the bigger ones. I would say The winner of this game will have the inside track to winning the SEC West.
Yeah.
Alabama's laying 2 in College Station against Texas A&M. I'm going to go ahead and say wrong team favorite. Give me Texas A&M to get this done. I think this offense is moving. Like I think it's a blessing in disguise because Jimbo Fisher, I don't think is a very good coach. But getting Connor Wegman injured, or him getting injured, I think is a blessing in disguise. I think Wegman is more talented than Max Johnson, but I think the offense flows. Sometimes it's just certain quarterbacks. I think the offense flows a little bit better with Max Johnson. It's in College Station where Bama lost last time to Zach Calzada. Max Johnson almost knocked off Bama at Bama with Orgeron when he was starting at LSU. He gets it done here in College Station. Wrong team favorite. Give me Texas A&M. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Bold statement. This is a really difficult game to pick. Just because I do think Alabama figured it out a little bit, as far as treating Milroe for what he is.
But that's the thing that I think helps A&M. A&M's, what's the weakness of A&M? I think it's the secondary. The defensive line for A&M is like 10 5-stars.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to bottle up the run.
Well, that's exactly what I'm getting at too, is that I feel like recruiting rankings, Nick Saban's performance is almost the best metric that could really prove recruiting rankings value, because you've mentioned a million times, Colby, you don't think he's an excellent X's and O's coach. You think he's just had better players than everyone. And I feel like Alabama, whenever they play one of these similarly talented teams, they struggle, and A&M has a lot of fucking talent. So
there was only like 15 teams buying other players.
Yeah.
And they were better at buying players than everybody.
Yeah. And so I do think that A&M, is going to be a problem for them. The fact that it's in College Station, maybe you're right. Maybe wrong team favorite. I'll roll A&M. But Alabama did beat Ole Miss pretty handily.
The interesting thing about the Saban thing is I am intrigued to see if he continues to try to use Milroe. Like, I think Milroe is a very good college quarterback if they use him right. They early on, it was like they're trying to have him be Bryce Young. He can't be that.
Yeah.
He's his own style of
he
quarterback.
Looks like a fucking great running back.
Yes, do a lot of designed runs on purpose throughout the game. I would almost go back like full on Tommy Frazier style. You know what I mean? See what you can pull up on film and try to run the ball with Milroe like that.
Yeah.
NC Nick, what are you doing here in College Station?
I mean, this place is going to be on fire Saturday, and I do think Texas A&M could make Alabama's offense one-dimensional. And if you talk about playmakers, usually Alabama has all the playmakers. Not anymore. It's A&M. A&M may be the best group of receivers in the country, and they have a quarterback who can get them the ball. I think this is a game where in the offseason, I circled A&M. A&M wins this game, and nothing has changed throughout the first 5 weeks to make me change my opinion. So let's go Aggies.
Let me say this too. I agree with you guys. It's not a dog whistle. It's not a racist comment to say Jalen Milroe is more of a running back than a quarterback. This is not Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, actual great quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback. Jalen Milroe looks like a fucking
Milroe though, if they coach him up, if they coach him up, could be like Lamar Jackson. But I still think like
right now he's more of a running back than
this is like, to me, there's certain teams, there's certain coaches that would do a better job than what Nick Saban has done with Jalen Milroe, in my opinion.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Kent State is heading to Ohio. Speaking of Nick Saban, Kent State graduate himself, as they head to Akron, Ohio. Look, this game goes back to 1936. Ohio has an 18-game lead. Ohio's laying 27 points. Lay it, because Ohio, had they not gotten, I'm buying into what NC Nick was saying here. If Rourke had not gotten injured, they might be playing and they wouldn't put him in the CFP because they would never let the MAC have access because it's a fucking sham. But Ohio minus 27. I'm all over it. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Lay the points, definitely. I mean, Kent State's last game, they lost 23-3 against Miami of Ohio. Ohio is so much of a better team than the Red Hawks.
Really?
Really, for sure. Yeah. And Ohio's coming off a bye, so they're fully healthy because they were banged up. I know they've lost a couple guys out for the year, but Ohio's just clearly the better team. They're going to roll Kent State.
Let me get that number up again. I don't have it pulled. What is it?
Ohio minus 27.
No, too many. I'm on Kent State.
You're crazy. What has Ohio's defense done in the MAC so far? Or just every game except even the San Diego State game where their quarterback got injured, they only gave up 20.
That is a pretty phenomenal defense. They haven't given up more than 10 points in
That's
4
what I'm
weeks.
saying. They're not going to score on them, dude. You're going to be wrong.
Yeah, Kent State's not getting in double digits, and Ohio's going to be in like at least the mid 30s.
Ohio coming off a bye on a homecoming at Peden Stadium. Maybe you're right. All right, you guys flip me.
There you go.
guys
There you go.
Thanks for coming around, Patty.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going Big Ten action. This game's been happening since 1910, and Purdue only has a 10-game lead. It's going to be cut down to 9 as they head to Iowa City to take on the Hawkeyes. No Cade McNamara. Don't worry, it's not Spencer Petras, all right? It's not Spencer Petras, folks. But even if it was, I still feel confident that he'll get it done because with Spencer Petras, they're still winning like 9 games, I feel like. This one's going to be Deacon Hill. And I trust guys named Deacon on the football field, going back to Deacon Jones. Guys, I'm locking up Iowa minus 2.5 at Iowa City. They ain't losing this game. They ain't losing this game. So guess what it was last year? Iowa won 24-3. Classic Iowa game.
You know what's kind of crazy, though, is that Purdue's actually won 2 out of the last 3 in Iowa City. Kind of surprising.
It is. But, you know, and the line smells a little bit.
It does.
There's a little stink to it, but I'm still locking it up. Let's go.
I'm going Iowa. I'm not going to lock it.
Patty?
Oh, boy. Look, I'm kind of impressed with Purdue lately. You know, and this game might have bigger impact on the West, Big Ten West rankings than we realized because Purdue did lose 2 games in the non-conference slate. Fresno and Syracuse, both of whom are decent teams. They did get whooped by Wisconsin, so they don't have that tiebreaker. But even
they beat Illinois, yeah.
They beat Illinois handily. And if they go to Iowa and get a win, I still think Purdue's a decent football team, better than I thought they would be. That said, I got to roll. I'm going to roll Purdue. I'm going to roll Purdue.
Wow.
2.5 is not many points, but Iowa will win by 1.
17-16.
There you go.
Texas State has never beaten Louisiana. Louisiana's 10-0 all-time against Texas State, dating back to 2013. Guys, Texas State should play for the national championship this year.
They are awesome.
That
offense.
This line is insulting to me. Texas State's a dog to Louisiana. Have they watched? Have they watched Texas State? Their only loss was to DJ Kinney's high school coach, so he knows how the bastard thinks, right? And they had Captain Harris.
Because I understand how the bastard thinks. I taught him. Now I own one.
Texas State's not losing ever again. All right? This is a lock. I'll join this one too. You got your little Cajun feel with Mike Devereaux hitting dingers. It ain't gonna fly against
They're
this
almost
Bobcat
5-0.
offense. Yes,
They're almost 5-0.
yes. Patty C, what are you doing here at Cajun Field?
GJ Kinney might be National Coach of the Year in my book.
I mean, he might need to be. What are you doing here?
What a shock.
This game's on ESPNU.
The fact that it's in Lafayette is a little bit scary. That said, getting 2.5, I will take the points. Give me Texas State.
Locking it?
Yeah.
I'll lock it also. Let's go, boys. I'm buying what
Brilliant.
GG Kinney's selling here.
I mean, this team is just they're
But Louisiana, let's be honest, they were beating Minnesota on the road, right?
at half, yes.
Okay, they look okay. They only had a 7-point loss at an ODU team that looks even better than we thought they were, right? And other than that, they beat UAB and Buffalo. Louisiana has not fallen as far as everyone thinks they have.
True, but Texas State's Texas State, all right?
TJ Kinney's moving that rock.
We are locking up the Bobcats.
As if the Sun Belt needed another fire team.
Yeah.
Boom.
yeah.
GJ Kinney comes in.
What's the saying? I would buy a ketchup popsicle from GJ Kinney while wearing white gloves.
That's right.
Northern Illinois is heading to Akron, Ohio to take on the Zips. NIU is laying 6. The Zips don't have DJ Irons. They might not have Alex Adams. They're wide out. But I don't give a damn. This team's hungry. And when I watch Northern Illinois play, I see a sad team. Give me Jeff Undercuffler. All right, they're going to win one for the Cuffer.
Cuffler.
Yeah, let's go. Akron outright money line play. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm not sure about the money line, but I'll take the points with you. Home dog it up.
This is my weekly "You guys are fucking idiots" segment here. We're all over Northern Illinois. Fucking
what? But they're 1-4. Both teams are 1-4. I don't know why you're just so sold on the Huskies. There, it's that win against Boston College is winning.
That must be it.
Well, a lot of their losses are pretty close. 3-point loss. Oh, granted, it was an FCS. Maybe it was a 2-point loss last week against a much better team in Toledo on the road.
Sure.
They lost by 2 against Toledo, and now they got to go to Akron. And what? The spread's 7. I guess it's about accurate. Vegas probably got that right. Still, I'll take Northern Illinois.
Bowling Green's heading into Miami, Ohio, to Oxford, Ohio. Jaeger Bob Stadium. It ain't gonna happen. Bowling Green's got their big emotional win against Georgia Tech. Now Miami's going to put them in the dirt. I'm laying them. I'm laying the 10. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I think this line stinks. I think everybody sees Bowling Green knocking off the ACC school. Well, yeah, here's where they come back down to earth. I'm also going to lay the points.
Patty C?
Look, maybe I'm just like buying too much into what Miami, Ohio did against Cincinnati. They did get severely outgained in that game. They didn't blow out Kent State. They only won by 20. And they only beat UMass by 13. The 4-1 record says Miami, Ohio is a lot better.
We all took Miami, Ohio.
I kind of want to lean Bowling Green plus 10.
Go with your
I'm
Falcons.
going to take the Falcons.
There you go. Leffler for life, says Patty C. Next, we're going to this is one that goes back. And by the way, Bowling Green, Miami, Ohio have been playing since 1940. All right. Arkansas State, Troy goes back to 1951. And Arkansas State has a 1-game lead on the Troy Trojans as they head to Troy, Alabama. Troy's laying 16. Arkansas State showing signs of life. Does Butch Jones, does he have magic in his sleeve? Is he gonna get to a bowl and save his job, perhaps? No. Troy minus 16. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Butch Jones may be the most extreme example of like a coach we hate that if he turns it around, we're just gonna have to eat crow. I
don't even like hate him as a person. It's just I don't think he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's just strictly relying on his recruiting. No, I'm on Troy.
NC Nick, what are you doing here in Troy, Alabama?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. You know, Troy stumbled early on, losing to JMU and getting blown out by Kansas State. But since then, nice wins at Georgia State last week over Western Kentucky. People think Arkansas State might be decent because they've won 3 in a row. They're not. Troy's going to roll them.
Yeah. First ever matchup here, UCF, Kansas. On the gridiron, Jalen Daniels hasn't practiced all week. The line's telling you, and look, I don't know if Rice Plumlee's playing either. He was questionable last week, didn't play. He's questionable this week. Who knows what's happening in these games, but I can tell you this. Kansas bounces back. I'm laying the 2. And shout out to UCF for blowing, a 28-point fourth-quarter lead.
These are 2 of Colby's biggest touts during the whole duration of our podcast here.
It's true.
He was on UCF fighting for their rights to party early on, and now he's
national champs. Own
That's
it
right.
all day.
The first to say hang the banner, Colby Dant.
100%.
This is a fun game.
Be a lot funner if both the quarterbacks played.
Yeah.
Yes, it would. UCF. Give me UC. What is it? Wait, both are out. I mean, Plumlee's out. We don't know about
it.
Plumlee's questionable.
Plumlee's questionable and Daniels questionable.
Yeah.
If they both play, this game's awesome. Since we don't know, I think Bean's the better backup, so I'll lean Kansas.
Yeah, Nick, what are you doing here in Lawrence?
I'm with you guys. Kind of hard to pick this game on Wednesday, but my hunch is that neither quarterback plays, so I'm going to go Kansas.
Vanderbilt is heading to the swamp. They've been playing this one since 1945. Florida's got a 32-game lead, but Vandy won last year. Can they build on it? Florida's laying 18. I say you lay the 18. I thought about locking this.
Wait, Vandy beat Florida last year.
Yeah.
Why am I forgetting this? That was like a little like sub note on the college football season that should have been celebrated more.
At the construction zone, Patty C. I mean, this one's in the swamp. I'm going to lay the 18. Nick, I think we should consider locking this.
No, I'm not going to lock it. But, I mean, come on. They didn't even beat Charlotte by 18.
They got embarrassed last week. I feel like if Napier wants to save his job, they got to make a statement against this terrible Vanderbilt team.
I like the angle. I'm going to go Gators, but I'm not going to bet it.
Nah. Nah.
You taking Vandy?
You know, I'm going to tell you why I was on Vandy, because they kept it okay, somewhat close against a good Kentucky of a team. Only 17 points. Kentucky's way better than Florida. 17 points against Missouri. Missouri's way better than Florida. And 16 against Wake, who's probably about as good as Florida.
They also lost to UNLV.
Okay. By 3. Yeah, that's a fair point. Look, I think Florida is bottoming out once again. I'm going to take Vandy to cover the spread.
All right. There you go. South Florida heads to Birmingham, Alabama. Trent Dilfer's been yelling at everybody. All right. Says try to steal his players. No one wants to steal his players because they suck ass right now. But I'm actually been somewhat impressed the past 2 weeks of UAB. I'm seeing that tide turn, guys. I think UAB might be onto something with this Dilfer guy.
I think tide turning. As I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of turn. It's easy to see a tide turn. Did I say those words?
He's the stupidest motherfucker.
He's raised in the desert. Look, UAB's catching 3.5. I'm taking the points. South Florida looked good, though. I mean, look, I took them last week on the money line. They were down 14-0 to like start the game. Thought I was going to eat shit. They ended up coming. This is an interesting game. I find this game interesting. I find this game very interesting. Give me UAB plus 3.5. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying UAB's been looking good. I mean, South Florida has been looking good.
Oh,
Byron Brown, the quarterback there. I'm buying into Go Lesh, Patty C's boy. I'm gonna take South Florida. I'm gonna lock it up too, guys.
Woo!
Boom!
You're foolish for this one. NC Nick says, come run with the Bulls with them. All right.
I'm not buying into Trent Dilfer just yet.
I told the good people of South Florida that this team is going to win 10 games 3 times in the next 6 years. I was hammered when I said that, and Noah clipped it. But look, they lost to Western Kentucky by 17. They lost to Alabama by 14. The rest of their games on this schedule are winnable. They can win 10 this year.
UAB beats them on the money line.
Coming with me, Showboat Buddy?
I'm with you, Showboat Buddy. Car wash, buddy.
Are you locking it, Patty C?
Yeah.
Wow.
Go Lash, baby.
Wow. They're running with the Bulls. NC Nick, Patty C.
Look, things are not going well in paradise for old Trent Dilfer.
He's got it right here. This is his first win. The Penetrope Stadium.
If they take a bad L, how much of that is racial or how much of that is like you haven't established
racial? Trent Dilfer?
Clout to just scream at your coaches
that's
yet.
Not, dude. I don't even think it's
racial.
racial.
You don't think that's racial?
I just think that's the internet being terrible.
Yeah,
and
probably.
You can't yell it. It's like, dude,
he is berating the fuck out of it. But a lot of coaches do that. But I do think you probably, whether it's fair or not, probably need to have a little bit of clout in order to go that hard on your coaches. Like Nick Saban can get away with it.
He's won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer says, "What's up?"
True. I'm
2000 Ravens, bitch.
Let the man fucking coach. You yell at your assistants, whatever.
Come on, who cares? If you're passionate about something, that's good. Everyone needs to shut the fuck up on social media. Be fantastic. All right. UConn heads the Rice. Social media won't be talking about this one. Rice is laying 9.5. I will lay the 9.5. And I thought about locking it, but this one smells a little bit. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Houston, Texas?
I'm a Rice guy. Born. I was diehard fan. Rice Owls. They're at home. UConn is trash. I think you got to go Rice.
Man, I will say this. UConn close, but not quite there. Rice, a lot better than I thought they would be. Still, 9.5, way too much. Give me the Huskies, even on the long road trip.
You're crazy. Tulsa is heading down. Tulsa, the Patty C's Golden Hurricane are making me eat shit over here. As they played. By the way, they're in the middle of the Owl trifecta. 3 straight games, conference games against the Owl teams.
Wait, there are 3 Owls in the same conference?
Yes. Temple, they played Temple last week. They beat them. They got Florida Atlantic this week and Rice next week.
That's
fantastic.
Tulsa taking on the whole birdcage. All right. So, folks.
Wait, there's a, what is it? A fucking Dumb and Dumber reference somewhere.
Yeah, we got.
They killed our bird. We're going to kill their bird.
Florida Atlantic's laying 4. I will lay the 4, although Tulsa, look, the hire didn't make sense to me, even though I believed he was a good coach, if that makes sense. I didn't understand why you hire this guy at this age. He's not from the state of Oklahoma it didn't make a ton of sense. But I thought he was a good coach at Indiana. I thought he was the real guy to start that turnaround at Indiana.
Allen?
No, Kevin Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm getting those two confused.
I will lay the 4 though. Tom Herman and Florida Atlantic get it. I don't know. Gosh, this game. They're 1-1 all time against each other. It's a 3-point game. Last time they played. I don't know. I'm still laying the 4 with the Owls. Nick, what are you doing here?
Anything more than a field goal, I'm going to take the points. I liked what I saw from the backup Cardell Williams against Temple last week. And you're right. Tulsa's coach he's just a solid football coach. And Herman and FAU have been disappointing so far. So I'm going to go Golden Hurricane.
I mean, Herman has played some nice
True.
competition, though. But,
True.
Patty, what are you doing here?
Herman's played nice competition. Clemson's okay. I mean, Clemson's good, but Illinois, Ohio, those are not.
They
really
almost beat Illinois.
acceptable
What
losses.
do you
Want to
mean?
talk about
That's not an
acceptable
acceptable
losses?
loss.
How about Kevin Wilson's losses at fucking Washington and against Oklahoma? Those are probably 2 of the top 5 teams in the country right now.
Oklahoma's not a top 5. Get the fuck out of here.
We're
with
gonna
that.
see. We're
Good
gonna see.
God.
We're gonna see
Is
on
that Barry
Saturday.
Switzer over there? Who the fuck are we talking to? I don't know. You're silly.
Give me Tulsa to cut. They're 4-point dogs on
Yeah.
the road. Boca Raton's a fucking retirement community. Give me Tulsa. Give me the outsiders.
The Colorado Buffaloes are coming into Tempe, Arizona. Take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. We coming. My guy Deion Sanders 4. Get the fuck out of here. They're gonna beat little Arizona State by more than 4. Lay the 4 with the Buffs, as this is a huge win. They moved to 4-2. They got Stanford next week. The Buffs are going bowling after they win in Tempe. Patty C, what are you doing here?
Lock it up.
Woo!
Ooh.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Lock it up. This is a joke. This is a joke.
Patty C, lock it up, the Buffs.
I'm not going to overreact because I think USC was a far better team than Colorado, and let them get back into that game. I think Alex Grinch is catching a lot of strays for USC. You know, their first half performance is a better indicator of how good USC's defense really is.
But Colorado moved the ball in that defense.
In the second half.
No, in the first half, they just kind of fumbled opportunities.
True.
Missed field goals.
And then they have a muff punt or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Sure. I mean, they made USC look good. But I'm not saying Alex Grinch is great. I'm just saying he's not, as bad as everyone's saying. That said, Colorado's a way better team than Arizona State. 4.5 easy.
4. Flat 4, I'm saying. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Tempe?
This is for the season over also. Win this, and you're good. And you have to love the heart and the fight that Colorado showed in that comeback attempt last week. They could have, folded up and say, hey, we're getting blown out by a better team again. They didn't. So, of course, I'm on the Buffaloes.
Let's go.
Yeah, they're probably energized by that. And let's be honest, Shedeur Sanders, we didn't know what he really was coming in the season.
Dog.
He's a pretty good quarterback.
Dog.
Yeah.
Kentucky is heading into Athens, Georgia. Oof. They haven't beaten Georgia since 2009. This is a series that goes back a ways, all right? Since 1939. Georgia has a 50 game lead.
Woo!
Unbelievable. Kentucky's getting 14.5, 15. Shop around. Oh, man. I went back and forth on this one.
Really?
I did, just because I ate shit on. I thought Georgia would win by more against Auburn. I think Auburn's terrible.
Well,
Right.
I'm on the other side of it, so.
No, I'm taking the points now. I'm taking Kentucky in the points.
Okay, good. I am too.
I'm gonna lay them actually.
Yeah, I mean, last year when they had Stetson Bennett and company, this was a 16-6 game. Give me the points. I don't like it. I don't bet this game.
I just think everybody's gonna be taking the points.
That's fair. That's
people
fair.
saw what Kentucky did last week, and they saw what Georgia didn't do, even in a win. And this is between the hedges, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go Georgia.
I mean, I don't have a good feel on this game. Like I said, I went back and forth for a reason.
Auburn can't pass the ball, and it almost
Georgia's not a great passing team either.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is Auburn was still able to get off on Georgia a little bit just through the run. Well, Ray Davis, a little 26 carries, 280 yards last week, top carrier in the country, 3 touchdowns. I think that might give Georgia some trouble.
Yeah.
14.5. You're giving me that hook. I'm all over Kentucky.
You actually like it. I don't like it, but you actually like it.
I like it. I don't think Georgia's very good. They haven't shown shit.
Yeah, the rankings are a fucking joke for having Georgia number 1.
Let's test Colby's knowledge here, because I don't think Patty C knows this question. You mentioned Ray Davis came from Vanderbilt. That wasn't his first school. Where did he start his college career. I
Let me do
remember
my-
watching him as
Let me do my French Stewart face.
I remember watching him as a true freshman. I was like, man, this guy's decent. He ran for over 900 yards as a true freshman.
I bet you once you say it, I'll know it.
Northeast football, baby.
UConn.
Temple.
Damn it. I do remember a Temple though. Next up, Old Dominion, Southern Miss. So why is Southern Miss continually being favorites? I can't ever bet on Southern Miss ever again. I thought I was buying into the Brett Favre blood money situation where I thought their whole athletic department was going to shine.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
I saw a comedy show recently with Jen Sturger in it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
her tits are as great as they were on camera. Brent Musburger.
Watch out, Jen. You might get another dick pic. All right.
Speaking of Brett Favre.
Yeah. Old Dominion is going to beat them. I don't have any. I hate Southern Miss. I have a ticket on them over 5.5
this
wins.
This is so easy. Why is this? This smells the high.
That's what I'm saying. This is the one Southern Miss wins, actually. I'm laying the 1.5. Zig when they zag. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm fucking taking Southern Miss until they cover a game, damn it. Southern Miss it is. Let's go.
Let me see. What are you doing here?
The stinkier, the better. I'm diving headlong into it. Give me Old Dominion to just annihilate Southern Miss like they should.
You know,
trust Vegas too much.
You know what we need to talk about is ULM. They lost on the final play of the game against App State. And when you look at what they beat Army, they beat Lamar, they lost to A&M, and they almost beat App. They were very close to being 3-1, NC Nick. App made a 54-yard
I know. I saw it.
Final play of the game. Terry Bowden's got this team believing. So when I see them as a 10-point dog in Monroe, Louisiana, give me ULM plus 10. Sprinkle a little bit on the money line. NC Nick, what are you doing here?
No, the only problem with that is that South Alabama's lost 2 in a row. So they're desperate and hungry for a win too, and they're clearly better. I'm going the Jaguars.
What's that number?
You don't think it's a big game for Bowden?
I've heard a saying. How's it go again? Never fade a Bowden.
In a big game.
Yes.
I have heard that one as well. Look, I'm going to say this. South Alabama got pushed around by JMU early last week, and JMU let them dress that score up just like they do against every other team. South Alabama has lost to Central Michigan. I don't know what went wrong since they beat the shit out of Oklahoma State, but the last 2 weeks have been a disaster for South Alabama. Meanwhile, let's give Bowden rankings. We all think of Bobby as head and shoulders above his sons, right? But Terry, Tommy, who's the better coach there?
Terry. Won an Natty at Auburn.
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough. Look, I'm going to say Terry's doing a fucking damn good job here at ULM. I'm going to take the Warhawks.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot. All right, folks, look, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be that stressful, all right? Game Time's the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, and theater that is near you with killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll be having at that very event, all right? And they have the Game Time guarantee, which means you'll always get the best price. In fact, if you find tickets in the same section in a row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So, snag the tickets without the stress, people, with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create an account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Rosso brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, we are back on the college football experience. Man, is Jacksonville State going to they were down 21 to Sam Houston last week. They came back and won in overtime.
Crazy.
They were down 23-7. They're on the verge of making it 23-21 here. Wow, they just scored. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh, Rich Rod still got it, huh?
ECU, pick up the phone. Pick up the fucking phone. This game, Noah Beanick behind the scenes was asking me what dog is most live this week. And I gave him 2. One was a shorter one that we went with, but I said, if you want a double-digit dog, this is the one. Arkansas is heading into Oxford, Mississippi, where they just partied their ass off. You saw it. All right? What if and by the way, this game dates back to 1908. And what if I told you that Arkansas has won 6 of the last 9? Pulled Pork Pittman plays bully ball. Lane Kiffin does all that.
Plays pussy ball.
Foo-foo, cha-cha-cha shit, all right?
Yeah, I forget what I saw, but Lane Kiffin, I think it was something Taylor Swift related or something really bitch-ass related. Your statement about Mike Leach being the real deal and Lane Kiffin being this little, like, fake.
Yeah, it's like a Jersey Shore thing. You know what I mean? Like a TMZ thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was never more apparent to me than right then. Lane Kiffin, I'm out on.
Well, that means you should join me here because I'm locking up Arkansas plus 11.5 in Oxford. I say you ride the money line. Sam Pulled Pork Pittman for life. Stop being a coward. Stop being a coward.
We have a common opponent at LSU. Wait. I think it's going to work in your favor, actually. At LSU, Arkansas lost by 3. Meanwhile, LSU went to Ole Miss and lost by 6. So, you shave 3 points off of either of those, and you have about 2 even teams. And you're talking about a 13-point spread, you said?
11.5. Plus 340 on the money. He can't get a fucking thing right over here. Plus 340 on the money line.
You're bouncing all over the place. Look, I don't know, though, because like I said last week, and you scoffed at me. You fucking scoffed at me when I said Ole Miss's offense might be so explosive that LSU can't keep up. And guess what? That exact thing happened. So maybe the same thing happens this week. However, I will roll Razorbacks.
You locking it with me?
No.
Coward. NC Nick, you locking it?
I need some more locks this week. Why not? I think situationally speaking, you got to go Razorbacks here.
Pulled Pork Pittman, baby. It's going to happen. Ride that money line. Sprinkle that money line. We got a little battle of the brown jug or something. Little jug. Something. What's it called? The brown little jug?
Little brown jug.
Little brown jug. All right. Michigan, Minnesota. They call this thing a rivalry because they've been playing since like 1892, but Michigan has like a 75-game lead or some shit. Well, 51-game lead. I'm sorry. Michigan's laying 19. Lay the 19. Patty C, what are you doing here?
I don't know. I feel like it should be Michigan based on what they've done and what Minnesota's done. I think it's smart to do Michigan, but something tells me the primetime spot for Minnesota means they show up a little more. Plus, I think PJ Fleck wants to be the next Michigan coach. Maybe he's coming from Western Michigan.
Minnesota. He's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not that long way because Harbaugh is going to
be a wide receivers coach.
Yeah,
for
that's
them.
True. Look, I'm going to take Minnesota.
Dude, Minnesota is trash. And, all of a sudden I'm lock happy. I got the lock right with Michigan going into Nebraska last week. These Big Ten West schools are awful. They're terrible. Lock it up again.
Look, I'm not that far behind you. This could be won by Saturday.
This is probably a 35-7 game again for Michigan, even though last week they pushed it to 45-7.
Minnesota's not going to be able to move the ball. Their offense sucks ass. So
the Greek pellet gun's going to throw a couple picks.
I don't know. I think the primetime spot makes a difference. I'm taking Minnesota to cover 19.5.
The Middle Tennessee just okay. All right, look, you guys want a lot? You guys want locks?
Give it to me.
Well, I locked up Louisville over 8 wins, or I think it was 7.5 wins back in June. However, they're not beating Notre Dame. I will lock up Notre Dame -6 at the Shack.
I'm going to take your word on this one, Colby, because
it's
you are so
matchup.
dialed into Louisville.
It's a bad matchup.
If you
for
think
Louisville.
Notre Dame's going to whoop their
I think
ass.
it's a really bad matchup for Louisville.
Second end of a back-to-back road for Notre Dame.
I know. You got to ignore the stat line.
2 intense-ass games in a row for Notre Dame.
You got
really 3.
You got to ignore the stat line. NC Nick, what are you doing here at the Shack?
I was thinking about this, and this is the biggest home game for Louisville in the history of their program.
Braum magic. Could it happen?
They're 5-0. They finally got their hometown kid as head coach. They have everything to play for. It's a night game. This place is going to be insane. Everything Patty C said about the second of back-to-back road trips for Notre Dame. They have USC on deck. How about that? And I think they're maybe a little emotionally tired. I'm going to go with the home dog here, guys.
I'm with you.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I'm with you.
You're switching?
I'm on the Cardinals. Yeah,
Let's go.
I was with you a second ago, but
It's
you're
a
making
bad
you're making a lot of points over there.
Look, I have front row tickets to the Braum show. All right, and I think that hire, it's a match made in heaven. It's going to work out. They're going to play in college football playoff games with Jeff Braum as their head coach. However, I think this is a really bad matchup for my boys. So I will lay the 6 and lock it up.
I think this is Colby copping out on his team when they have, I don't know, a 3-point win against NC State. But look,
a win is a win is a win, buddy.
Now, this is the win-win situation for Colby. If Notre Dame wins, he wins a bet. If Louisville wins, he's I told you so.
Well,
Louisville's
and I'm
awesome
closer
this
to
year.
winning my bet on my lock. You're
For
right.
sure.
Yeah.
well, the over is almost certainly going to hit. Although the second half of this slate, let's talk about this because what was the number? What was the season win total for Louisville? I think it was 8.5.
No, it was a flat 8, but but that's when we called the show. I got my ticket in June at 7.5.
Ooh, that's nice. Remaining really tough games on their schedule: Notre Dame at home, Duke at home, at Miami and Kentucky. That's only 4 losses. Other than that, Pitt, Virginia Tech, and Virginia, all 3 of those, or 2 of the 3 are at home. They're probably getting to 8. You're probably at least pushing if they can pull one upset.
I mean, they're going to play for the ACC. I also have a future on them to get to the ACC championship.
Nice.
I'm sorry, to win the ACC championship.
Well, that win over NC State last week was fucking.
It was
huge.
huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I actually
huge.
think you're right. I think they're going to the ACC championship at this point.
Now he said before he would say back in August, he said you were fucking insane.
Still,
Colby. You were absolutely
this was a lock
fucking
battle.
insane.
This was a lock battle. I feel pretty good that they're going to lose those 4 games.
You just took them to beat Notre Dame now.
No, I didn't. I took them to cover against Notre Dame. They're going to lose to Notre Dame.
Walking a fine line, Patty C.
They're going to lose to Duke. They're going to lose to Miami, and they're going to lose to Kentucky. 8-4 is
They're
where
not
they
even going
are.
to have Riley Leonard.
I thought the number was 8-5, and so that would be the under as far as I'm concerned.
You know, Duke's Riley Leonard's out 3 to 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's 4 weeks from now. We'll see.
On the road, a little cankle.
Louisville
You know what I
sucks.
mean?
They're a fucking joke. They barely beat Georgia Tech.
What they do to JMU last year?
Get the fuck out of my
What they
face.
do to JMU
Yeah,
last year?
and guess who's not there anymore? Scott Satterfield, the coach that you fucking hate. Yeah.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, you do. You're a hater. You're a noted hater.
JMU should re-up and come to the Shack. All right. Speaking of locks, Colorado State's laying 2 at Utah State. I'm locking up the Colorado State Rams. NC Nick touched on this Utah Tech game. They were asleep because Utah Tech's terrible in the FCS. Go back to the Middle Tennessee game. Colorado State's a good team. They're bowling this year. They cover the 2 in Logan, and Utah State seems to be a mess despite somehow winning that UConn game on a blocked extra point. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Logan?
I'm going to go Colorado State, but that game last week scared me off for any kind of lock.
Patty C?
Yeah, I mean, I think Utah State probably getting a little bit of credit for keeping it close against JMU when, in fact, there were a lot of bullshit calls in that game that favor them. Colorado State, meanwhile, getting it together. Give me the Rams.
Let's go. All right. TCU is heading into Ames. TCU is laying 6.5. This is a series that goes back to the mid-90s, 95 to be exact. TCU has a 4-game lead. Give me Iowa State in the points. I think this game is going to be chippy. It's going to be close. All right. Give me the 6.5 and the Cyclones. NC Nick, what are you doing here in Ames?
I don't love it, but I'm going to lay the points with TCU. You know, with all those gambling suspensions, Iowa State's offense has struggled this year, and I think TCU is going to be able to put up around 30 or so. I don't know if Iowa State can keep up with that. Give me the Horned Frogs.
Patty C, what are you doing here in Ames?
I think I got to lean TCU. I don't feel great about it, but I'm going to lean TCU.
Georgia Tech is heading into Miami Gardens, Hard Rock Hotel, whatever the fuck they call this stadium. Series goes back to 1955. What have I told you, Patty? See, that Miami only has a 1-game lead, and they're 2-2 in their last 4
over Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
The Atlanta-Miami rivalry. I always said it should be bigger.
It
They talk trash in the NBA a little bit. I know you haven't watched that in 15 years.
They had a great fight in the mid-'90s where Dwayne Farrell got choked out by Grant Long. His thumb was in the middle of the fucking air. Kevin Willis involved with it. It was just great.
Those are two cocky-ass cities.
Great fight.
New Orleans and Atlanta has an NFL rivalry. I feel like Miami, Atlanta should have a rivalry.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm on board.
Anyway, Miami's going to whoop their ass.
Now, Georgia Tech's getting 21. I'm all over the Yellow Jackets plus 21.
I'm going to take the points, too.
Yeah, I think they're going to play them close.
Laying. You guys are completely asleep on Miami. And I think it's the fact that you're a noted Cristobal hater is maybe the fact that they have a fucking really good team this year.
You're not asleep on Georgia Tech because they beat Wake?
Georgia Tech just lost to Bowling Green.
Yeah, well, we know the MAC is better than the ACC.
21 seems very doable. Lock Miami.
Wow, all right.
Wow.
All right.
Patty C.
It's disgusting. Dive into the stink. That should sting to you a little bit, right?
No, it doesn't stink. It's accurate. I feel like that's what I would set it at. As Jacksonville State just takes the lead.
Oh, wow.
Vomit if Middle Tennessee loses this game. It's been 2 weeks in a row that Rich Rod, ECU, pick up the phone.
The cardiac kids.
All right, folks, look, before we got a few more games on the slate, but before we get to that, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. And look, they have this new thing. They're introducing Scorchers. Go 5 for 5 and pick them Scorchers and enjoy a spicy 100-time payout. Almost said 1,000-time payout. From now until October 4th, Underdog is matching 100% of the first deposits up to $500. $100,000 Sundays will continue, and on Underdog Fantasy, 10 lucky players will win $10,000 each. Woo! Look, I told you this Thursday, the Bears are playing the Redskins. They want to keep it to NFL. I'll take the Redskins to get it done. Redskins, lay it against the Bears.
Sammy Howell playing all right.
Yeah, let's go.
They should have beaten the Eagles.
They should have, but they should have went for 2, but they're stupid. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $500. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. All right, we are back talking Mountain West football. San Jose State coming to the Smurf Turf. Can we start the Andy Avalos is going to get fired talk?
Maybe he should.
Well, Colby, you
Chris
said
Peterson and Bronco Mendenhall are out there.
Of all the Mountain West coaches you interviewed at Mountain West Media Day, Andy Avalos was one that was a little more distant. You didn't say he was a shithead, though.
No, he wasn't an asshole, but he definitely was not interested in talking to me. Which is fair. That's fair. I'm used to that.
I'm not interested in talking to you. I'm your fucking partner over here.
Look,
Nick doesn't want to talk to you. He's your brother.
That's fair. 100%. Troy Calhoun talked to me and he lied to me the whole time. Maybe everyone's fucking right? Look, Boise State's laying 9.5. This is a series that goes back to 1978, Patty C. San Jose State's only beaten them once, and that was the year that they won the Mountain West Championships. I think you got to take the points, though. I think San Jose State and Boise are on the same level right now.
Yeah.
Give me the 9.5 and Sparty. NC Nick, what are you doing on the Smurf Turf?
I do think it's too many points. It'll be interesting to see what Boise does with the quarterback position. Madsen, the true freshman from American Fork, Utah, got into the game against Memphis because Green was struggling again. It's too many points, man. I think Boise probably wins it because it is the Smurf Turf, but you can't lay that much with this offense right now.
Tom Wakeland says he lives in Boise and he's on very thin ice. Tom, are they starting to call for Chris Peterson? Because I hear Peterson still lives in Boise. I mean, the shoe fits.
Hey, let's be honest about Andy Avalos' job right now, though. All right, Washington is phenomenal. They went on the road, and they kept it pretty close for a lot of that game before Washington pulled away. Meanwhile, they probably could have beaten UCF.
They should have beaten UCF.
They went to Memphis and only lost by 3.
They blew a 17-0 lead, though, man.
Yeah, it's a tough
That
L.
hurts.
I'm not saying he's done a great job. San Jose State also probably better than people realize. Losses to USC, Oregon State, and even Toledo and Air Force.
All won 10 games or more a season ago.
Right.
San Jose State, relax on the schedule.
All right. Simmer down.
You know, we like drawing comparisons for the Mountain West and the Sun Belt. I think Avalos and Sean Clark are kind of similar.
I like it. Sean Clark, Appalachia State head coach, folks. If you don't know,
Just doesn't
both of them, I think, are getting on thin ice because you know what? I mean, not to get off this game, but App State shouldn't need a last-second field goal to beat ULM. You know, so I think both these coaches need wins quickly.
Yeah, it looks like that right now. Let's wait to the end of the season.
Do you think Peterson would bite on that?
If he wants to coach,
yeah.
Where else would he rather be?
What about Mendenhall? You think they would go for Mendenhall?
I think he'd be a great fit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That said, 9.5, way too many. I'm with you. These teams are, despite what Boise State is, what 3-2 or 2-3.
Boise State's 2-3.
2-3.
Yeah. And San Jose State only 1-4. I'm on San Jose State to cover.
I feel like both these teams are a lot better than their record, though. I will say that. I think both are
way better
quality
than
bowl teams.
Yeah.
Not necessarily contenders to win the championship, but quality bowl teams. Game of the night. And shout out, I want to give Fox some credit. I talk a lot of shit about the TV execs ruining college football because that's exactly what they've done in many, many realms. But I do appreciate you punting on TCU Iowa State and adding this game as your main Fox nationally broadcasted game, and that is Fresno State at Wyoming.
Beautiful.
I think this game's awesome. I think this game's absolutely fantastic. Well, Fresno's a 6-point favorite. They're going into Laramie where they're just 3-3 all time in Laramie. Wrong team favored. I like Fresno. I think they're awesome. Wyoming is going to get them. This is the toughest. This is the toughest place to win, I feel like, in the group of 5. Maybe the Smurf Turf number 1. Here is number 2. It's windy as shit. The crowd is lit. Me and NC Nick were there. You know what I mean? This Craig Bowles' team is, and look, remember that he's the only guy that told me the truth. Old school, baby. He's like in his 70s or late 60s. Everyone else is spitting bullshit at me when I went to Mountain West Media Day. Craig Bowles is like, no, we got a team that can win the championship. Boom. They're looking like it. Give me Wyoming. I'm locking up Wyoming +6. They're not, if they lose, it's going to be by like a field goal or 1 or 2.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be really windy.
Nationally televised Wyoming games don't have
that finesse offense is not going to click as, you know, like it usually does. I'm all over Wyoming too. Let's ride. Let's lock it.
Money line play.
Let me throw a little monkey wrench in your equation right here.
What's that?
Wyoming actually number 63 in the nation in passing yards. I got to double check, but I'm pretty sure Fresno fairly high on Fresno number 14 in terms of offensive passing yards. Wyoming giving up number 63 in passing yards.
They're not gonna be able to pass the ball in the fucking wind though, buddy. 20-mile-an-hour winds flying around Laramie.
That's right. It is the mountaintops, but I still think Fresno's on a different level this year. Give me Fresno.
Once again, he said this though. He said, remember when we all took Wyoming? He's like, App State's gonna fuck up Wyoming. Right?
And they did for most of the game, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. And they go back to week 1. He said Texas Tech is gonna go into Laramie and beat Wyoming.
He's a hater.
This guy doesn't know Wyoming football.
No,
right?
He hates Cowboys.
Sitting over there. He hates Cowboys.
All
right.
All I know about Cowboys in Wyoming is fucking Brokeback Mountain. We've already discussed this. Okay. Look, Fresno -6. All they got to do is win by a touchdown. Even if they cover late, Hefe Tedford will get it done. Give me the Bulldogs.
Oh, you're a fool. You're a fool. You're a fool. We got the Butt Bowl going on at the same time. Texas Tech, Baylor, old school rivals. Old school rivals. To 1929 it goes back to. This is what's great about this rivalry. They've played every year for like 1,000 fucking years. Baylor leads the series by 2. This is a true awesome rivalry. Baylor's catching a point. Blake Shapen is back. Remember, both starting quarterbacks were knocked out at one point or another this season. Texas Tech, I think Shuck is done for the year, I think. So it's going to be Barron Morton. Texas Tech's laying 1. Give me Baylor. They're going to ride this magic. You come from behind by 28 points in the 4th or whatever it was. I'm going to ride that momentum, and Baylor has new life. Patty C, what are you doing here in Waco?
The only thing that concerns me is that it's in Waco. But no, Texas Tech is the far better team at this point. Look, it took.
Are they? They're both 2-3.
Baylor needed a fucking miracle. They were getting their ass whooped by
On the
UCF.
road, though. That's impressive, buddy.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
I'll give them
20,
credit.
26 fourth quarter points.
Yeah, 29. If you go back like last minute of the third, it's 29. We watched it again here yesterday.
Okay. Meanwhile, their losses at Laramie, like you said, is the fucking hardest place in the world to play.
Yep.
At West Virginia, one of the hardest places in the world to play. And Oregon, who might be the fucking best team in the country.
Oregon?
No one is talking about. No. I want to point this out right now. Oregon is fucking awesome.
Really?
Oregon is fucking awesome this year. I believe that. In fact, I would favor them in Seattle, and we're gonna see next week. I bet they beat Washington.
Oh,
in Seattle.
I'll bet you. Heavy.
Ooh.
I'll bet you heavy on
I
that.
bet they go into fucking.
Oregon
Washington.
should have lost to Texas Tech if Texas Tech didn't fumble away the game.
Well, Oregon's fucking awesome. Anyway, 1 point. Get out of here. Texas Tech easily beats Baylor's ass.
NC Nick, what are you doing here in Waco?
I'm with Patty here. I mean, yes, it was a great comeback, but that doesn't, Baylor still has played one good quarter of football this whole year, I think.
Well, they beat the fucking Long Island Sharks.
That game doesn't count on the Texas Tech here.
All right, final two games. Oregon State heading into Berkeley. I said this was a sneaky trap game because they beat a top 10 Utah team a week ago. Now they got to go drop acid in Berkeley with those hippies. Oregon State, though, when I did a deeper dive, they've kind of owned Cal lately.
This is like the physical element of the Pac-12 that had like started to rear its ugly head. Now I'm glad to see the Pac-12 is back to what we always have known it as, offensive happy football. But
this fucking defense,
Jonathan Smith, Justin Wilcox.
I'm sorry.
What's going on there?
Rich Rod just threw like an 80-yard
Boom!
touchdown. I
Don't
can't
doubt
take
my
this
book.
Jacksonville State
Wow.
Brett Fry, you better be
Damn.
fucking winning some games.
team.
because
ECU, pick up the phone.
Virginia Tech should pick up the phone and grab Rich Rodriguez. You know he owns property in
Dude,
Blacksburg.
it was just 23-7. This is 2 weeks in a row they've done this. They're going to win the Sun Belt. I mean, the Conference USA. They're going to win the Conference USA. I'm sorry. I just derailed your point.
No,
but
you're good. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about.
It's 9.5. Give me Cal plus 9.5. Nick, what are you doing here?
I'm going to go Oregon State. I think Cal fucks with like the more finesse teams in the Pac-12 where they can kind of physical punch them in the mouth. You can't do that against Oregon State. Oregon State, clearly the better team. They are on a mission this year. Let's go Beavs.
No, disagree. All the points I just made about Oregon State don't apply here because it is a physical defensive game. The game is in fucking Berkeley.
Yeah.
And look, both of these teams aren't scoring fucking behemoths. Meanwhile, Cal should have beaten Auburn. I think people are forgetting that.
They should have. Arizona, final game of the night. Arizona goes into the Coliseum. Not that bullshit SoFi Stadium. It's disgusting. All right. You want to go see a fucking play, you go to SoFi. All right. You want to see a football game, you go to the Coliseum or the Rose Bowl. USC's laying 22. It's too many points. I am locking up Arizona plus 22 because this is a one-score game all the past 4 years. Arizona's offense can move. I locked up Arizona against Washington last year.
You're ignoring what happened last week. What
do you mean?
Arizona's happy they kept it close against Washington.
You know,
USC's upset that they let Colorado back in the game. USC is motivated to kick the shit out of Arizona.
Arizona didn't have Jaden DeLaura last week?
That is a fact.
And they still might not have him this week.
Well, shout out to my guy, Bobby Chavez. But he runs a gym in Orange County.
We have the insider scoop here.
With the father of the backup quarterback, Noah Fafita. So he's one of our own here on the College Football Experience. Give me the 22 and the Wildcats. Let's go.
The hook is interesting. I don't know. This is me trusting Alex Grinch to have a chip on his shoulder this week after getting destroyed by the media.
Arizona's wideouts are nasty. I don't care. USC's not there
Was
yet.
it Cowing? Jacob Cowing?
And McMillan, the 5-star. NC Nick, what are you doing here in LA?
I see Patty's points, but I'm going to side with Colby and take the points.
22. It's just a little too much. If it was like 17, maybe.
Yeah, agreed.
Over 3 touchdowns, you got to go Wildcats.
41-20.
Maybe USC gives it up late again. I don't feel great about that.
Who you taking?
You guys are almost convincing me to take Arizona here.
Oh, man. After all that.
All right, I'll do it. Alex Grinch, for as good as he might be, does tend to give up points late in the game. So Arizona with the late cover.
All right, there we go, folks. That's our show.
Boom.
All right. I can't wait to talk shit to these guys. Look, last Saturday, or the past 2 Saturdays, we haven't had the Saturday reaction show Saturday night. That's back. And that ain't going anywhere the rest of the season. We had a close friend's birthday, and then me and NC Nick were hammered in Laramie. So, Saturday nights recaps are back for the rest of the college football season. You got my word. And, folks, tomorrow morning, we're going to be back with a DFS episode. Tomorrow night, we have FCS Week 6 preview and picks. Then also, college basketball previews. Me and NC Nick, Moneyline Mac, Noah Beanick, we all knocked out an ACC basketball preview, and we've been previewing every other conference. We got the Big East slated for Friday.
Ooh.
Or, I'm sorry, Thursday, tomorrow. We got the Big Sky scheduled for Friday. All right?
Nice.
So, folks, it's all coming. All right? We're here. 49 straight days of football. Rich Rodriguez is fucking my bets up left and right. Just jump over to East Carolina, Rich. All right? Folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. That is the hub for all of our podcasts. I also host the FCS College Football Experience, the College Basketball Experience, the College Baseball Experience with Noah Beanick, and we have the Big 12 Experience with Moneyline Mac and Company. All of those are separate podcasts you should be subscribed to.
Essentially a fucking machine.
I am a machine, all right?
I am a learning computer.
Yeah, my CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer. Folks, subscribe. Also, wherever podcasts can be found. And look, if I see 100 people in the chat and I don't see 100 likes, I'm really gonna take it personal. All right, I'm really gonna take it personal.
Right here.
All right. And also take 2 minutes out of your day and give us a 5-star. Oh, look at that catch! Let's go, Blue Raiders. Give us a 5-star review over on Apple. All right. Give Patty C a follow on Twitter at PattyC831. Give NC Nick a follow on Twitter at NC__NICK. Give myself a follow on Twitter at the Colby D. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. So have a following frenzy over there. And check out all the other podcasts, man. I mean, look, MLB playoffs are going on. MLB Gambling Podcast. Shout out to everyone that runs that. You got the NBA starting up. Terrell Furman and company do a great job there. NBA Gambling Podcast. You got NHL starting up. You got the NHL Gambling Podcast. NFL season's going along. You got Sports Gambling Podcast every Friday night on VSiN.
On all cylinders.
On VSiN. That is a network. Musburger. Yeah, Brett Musburger's network that is on YouTube TV. So if you have the NFL package, you have VSiN every Friday night, 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern, Stacking the Money Green and Kramer live.
Brent Musburger is a D-gen at heart.
Yes, great guy. All right, look, and look, I'm on that network every Thursday. So jump on in, check us out. And the NFL Gambling Podcast too. I mean, we're just rolling along. We're just bottom line bomb, CJ Sullivan.
Join the fucking network.
Got another episode tomorrow dropping called The Weekend College Football
Give
Bombs
us your
with CJ
entire
Sullivan.
life.
CJ Sullivan guy. It's just
he's a funny
fucking hilarious. So, folks, all right, I'm done boasting. All right.
Any more shows?
Yeah.
Can you plug anything
I try
else?
to be like Ric Flair in life.
Patty C, what's on that telecast that you were watching?
Yeah.
Look, this is 1956, and television is a new thing here for Patty C.
That was an amazing throw. It was a stupid throw, but it worked out. Folks, this is the College Football Experience. We appreciate each and every one of you. All right. Until tomorrow morning, you better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
We can really ride a shoe, and you know